And we are live. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for part 2 of Crit Miss Among Shadows and Stone, a D&D 5th edition adventure. If you're joining us live tonight, then welcome, and if you are catching up on Spotify or YouTube, don't forget to give us a follow and a review or whatever it is that your chosen platform has available to you. And if you do that, then I'll love you forever, and I might even marry you. Alrighty, so if anyone's seen any of my previous streams, for instance, the one that I do with the good Hadrian here, Baldur's Gate Descent to Avernus, you probably know I like to start each stream with a bit of banter up top. It gives everyone a little bit of a chance to warm up to each other, and it gives the viewers, a little bit of perspective on each of the players. But tonight, I'm not doing it. It's not happening. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys, because we've got a lot to get through tonight, and I just want to dive straight into it. How does everyone feel about that?
Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
No problemo.
Awesome. So we are going to do just a quick little introduction in case someone has missed the previous 2 episodes, session 0 and part 1. We'll just go around the table, and we'll just do a quick introduction of ourselves. Doesn't have to be much for the players. Just say your name, say who you're going to be playing, and maybe give us a little bit of insight into your character's psyche, where we left off in part 1. Just think about that real quick. Like, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? And that'll give us a good jumping off point when we get straight into the action. So, to start us off, tonight we are joined by a very special guest, our lovely co-DM, the diligent Christian from Hermes D&D Services. Oh, hey, man.
Not too bad. I am at the Gold Coast now. I'll go over all that stuff at the end of the stream, once we have a little chance to chat about everything, because I want to get stuck into it as well. We've got some awesome combats coming right up right now, so share the Twitch channel to all your friends and get them to all come and watch. We're going to get to combat right here. And then otherwise, I'm not too bad. Character-wise, with the different people, Roald is obviously quite nervous and trying to get everyone as quickly to the area as possible, while the rest of the party went off to the crypts. The people themselves are pretty scared. I remember there was the old bard who wanted to help the party but was a bit afraid. Niels. And then Kayrick, who everyone saw as the elf healer. And Gordant through the small female dwarf, and then the hooded figure, which still hasn't been introduced or anyone's approached yet. As for why they're so kind of sly, we might find out this session. But everyone's still very much on edge and trying to find somewhere safe and secure, so a sanctuary. And as for the monsters, we will find out.
Fantastic, awesome. Looking forward to getting straight into that TPK you were just talking about. Next up, we have the exuberant Grace. How are you, Grace?
I am awesome sauce. Can't say the same for Thistle though. So yeah, she's poisoned. She's covered in bumps. She's got flies flying out of her. She is heckin' not okay. Heckin' bamboozled. Not right.
Much wow.
Yeah, I think I've still got that written
Much
down.
now, very George.
You know what? I will admit I never got around to jumping on the Urban Dictionary and finding out what Heckenbam or how you actually spell Heckenbam is. So we're just going to go with my version for tonight.
Pretty sure it's Elvish.
But it is Elvish. Yeah, I think you said that. I think you said it. What does that roughly translate to in the common tongue, Toby?
Oh, I don't speak Elvish. It's not one of my languages. So.
Oh, right. Does anyone speak Elvish here apart from Thistle?
Negative.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
Oh, that's interesting. We have someone who can speak Abyssal, but only one character who can speak Elvish, which you would think is far more common. Anyway, on to the next person. We have the impartial Hadrian.
Yes, definitely. Considering Count Goldream in this campaign, I know it's a bit crazy so far, but Count Goldream's seen some shit. He's a very determined truth seeker, though, so he just wants to see everyone through. Luckily, he hasn't been attacked and stuff, so that obviously makes it a bit easier on him. So he's just gonna deal with it as she comes, and hopefully we'll get through it safely. So, a fun fact: I completely forgot what my second language is. It's Gnomish, by the way. Not that anyone would know because I haven't told anyone in game. But
I want to know what is the backstory behind Count Goldream speaking Gnomish.
if I had to very quickly ad-lib it, it's most probably because the kingdom in which Goldream was the count of had a mountain with mines and stuff. This is actually true. It's actually written in the backstory. So I'm guessing that they used a lot of gnomes within the mines, and so therefore he had to, because he's a very down-to-earth guy, he had to speak to these guys at their level, no offense intended. Like he wanted to know what they were on about. So
for anyone like watching or listening at home, when people who play D&D use the term "this is actually true," we mean that in a very in the loosest sense possible. We take a lot of creative liberties.
Well, the gnomish was
English
definitely
language.
made up on the spot, but no, it's true. There is a mount, the actual.
All right.
I'll have to get it up. For a
Awesome.
time.
So next up, we have the circumspect George of the Dungeon Ruse fame. How are you, George?
I'm going very well, thanks. Yeah, it's been a great day. George from Dungeon Ruse. I play the Kobold Butterfinger. He's a ranger, and he is best described at the moment as weak, cowardly, and scared, which ironically is what he was before this adventure actually happened. So I guess not much has changed.
All right, so
except he's probably got flies coming out.
That's enough about you. I want to hear about your character. Sorry. Sorry, there's a little bit of a DM burn there. Sorry.
I mean, I thought this campaign, this one shot was directed at the characters, but okay, I'll just disconnect.
I do not discriminate. Everyone's in the firing line when you're in one of my games. And last but definitely not least, because we're going to be seeing a lot more of this particular individual, as well as another individual, but I'm not going to give any spoilers away now, is the orderly Toby.
Yes, hello. I'm Toby. I'll be playing Ronan, the Kensei monk, who's quite over his adventuring party, and really wants to get into combat because he had an absolute terrible time out of combat last session. So hopefully it's just 90% combat this time, where he excels.
I was going to talk to you about that. Toby's actually not Toby. Sorry, not you're not going to get banished to an interdimensional plane. No, Ronin's going to be banished to another interdimensional plane where combat doesn't actually exist. It's just all going to be skill
He's
checks.
on hell.
So yeah, sorry about that. Can't help it. That's just the rules of D&D. No, that's awesome.
Nothing but intelligence saving throws.
I know that's my strong suit. Not just as a player, but as a human being. Intelligence saving throws is just what I do. I have a -3, I think. If anyone caught the last stream, you probably noticed that that my audio in particular was missing for the good 10-15 minutes at the beginning of the stream. So I apologize about that. I rolled an intelligence saving throw and I failed that one, unfortunately. Awesome. I'm actually gonna just pass it over to you, Christian. Why don't you give us a little bit of a catch up of where our parties are? Let everyone know. Maybe just a brief sort of catch up on part one.
So, obviously, if you haven't watched part one, I'm not going to go through everything. Your job is to jump and watch the Crit and Miss recaps and the videos that we've got uploaded of those, which are awesome. Once you just get past the small little 10-minute part that he spoke about, the rest of it is great. But it ended off basically with our party traveling the rest of the path towards this cave, seeking refuge after they had been escaping the ruins of Dunbridges, a small settlement. And the city itself, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, he's just away. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do the party actually know what destroyed Dunbridges? I don't know if they know it was just monsters, or do they know?
So the way that I imagine it is sort of when it attacked, the party may have been involved in just sort of ushering out as many civilians and maybe holding some of these creatures back while the attack was happening. But
Okay. So they would know that. Lovely.
Yeah.
They would know that it was like demons that attacked the villagers. And since then, they've been bringing those couple of refugees and the last captain and lieutenant of the city guard, Roald, to a cave that Roald knew about where they could leave. It was a safe spot before they went to travel to the next village or city to seek refuge and sanctuary, like we were mentioning. So that is basically where we're up to. The party have just arrived at the cave. They had a small encounter with a stray demon, Bulazao. You're welcome to check it on D&D Beyond. It's a very interesting character that creates a lot of pestilence and disease and rot, and it infected Butterfinger and Thistle. Like they mentioned, both of them are currently poisoned and diseased and have their hit point maximum reduced, as well as little bits of skin starting to rot off of them and flies coming out of orifices. It's very gross and disgusting. So I'm keen to basically have the players running away from this demon horde, chasing them for reasons still unknown.
Reasons still unknown, which is the name of my documentary. So now that we've got that out of the way, who wants to play some D&D?
Me, I do.
Yes.
No one? Okay. Well, sorry guys, it's a short stream tonight. Just going to shut everything down.
Pick me.
No, let's get straight back into it. I'm going to switch scenes over to the gameplay scene in just a moment. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be seeing because I messed something up a little bit earlier. But let's find out what happens. Hey, perfect. It worked exactly the way that I wanted it to. So I'm going to start us off. I'm going to give us a little bit of background music. Where are we? There we are. Hopefully it's not too loud. Should most definitely probably will be. There we go. Can everyone... Oh, I'm not sharing my screen, so you guys aren't going to be able to hear
That is why I was.
Oh, that was silly of me. Well, I'll just describe it to you guys in the way that that D&D is supposed to be played. So you guys, you break through the tree line as you're heading towards the north. At this point, it's getting late afternoon, and the sun is starting to set behind these not quite mountains, but very large basalt hills that have been rising up ahead of you as you travel towards the north. And as you break through the tree line, you see a 20-25 foot wide stream flowing from west to east. It's not flowing particularly quickly, and you can tell that it's not too deep, but you can hear the sound of bubbling water as the water trickles along the stone bedrock. And you can hear the sounds of birds, you know, tweeting, and maybe the sound, maybe you can see some bats starting to fly around, making their way, looking for some food for the night. And that is what you hear, and that is what you see. Hopefully they can hear that on the stream. Let me just have a quick look. Yes, it looks like they can. So people at home, you can hear the audio. Keep in mind, I messed up as a DM and as a streamer again. I apologize about that. I rolled another intelligence saving throw. I didn't get a natural 1 this time, but still, you know, it was a tweener, 7, something like that. Christian, do you wanna pick that up from there, man?
Yeah, lovely. So, rest of you are all kind of tending to the needs of the other NPCs, the villagers that have been traveling. There's a couple of obviously standout ones at the moment. I would say similar as before. You have Carrick, the High Elf, standing next to Gordanthu, both chatting, the male healer and the female Dwarven Miner. A bit off, resting next to a tree, is still that hooded figure. And then the male poet, probably just sitting down on a rock. The rest of the villagers, are, which are only kind of come on like a single digits, are just crowded around Niels at the moment, asking for his next plan. Just before you all make the small journey across the river towards the cave. So while we still have this time, did anyone want to interact with anyone?
I dare say that Butterfinger's gonna try to catch his breath and maybe stop vomiting up flies for a little bit. But nah, I'm probably gonna tend to myself and try to stop vomiting.
Trying not to, like, I guess, draw attention in that sort of a sense, then I'll still get you to do a roll just for a particular reason. Can you just do this as a sleight of hand, just to try to like hide it away from everyone?
Okay. Sleight of hand. Where are you?
While he's rolling, can I start looking at this other guy, knowing that the hooded figure, knowing that they're the only person that I spoke to, so his cloak is either plain cloak or insignias.
No, that's okay. Are you going up to chat or more so just like peering from a distance?
I would indulge him about what's his purpose. He hasn't said much. He or she hasn't said much, right? Is there any
Okay, well, I guess...
disposition.
Do an insight check just to kind of read, I guess more so because they're covered up, it would also be like body language.
25.
Just before I get to that, what, George, what was your sleight of hand?
My sleight of hand was an 18.
Oh, lovely. Okay. I'd say that would pass. I was basically checking whether or not Kairik, the elven healer, might notice and see if he would offer any sort of support. But nervous Butterfinger, you stay quiet and manage to kind of like swallow that awkward bit of gunk in the back of your throat and start muscling on. Hadrian, you mentioned Count Goldreen got a 25?
Yeah, 25.
Starting off strong, buddy.
Jesus. Lovely. You take a look at the hooded figure. First thing that you kind of notice, just with such a high throw and high roll, is that the figure, not even just because I know you did an insight check, but just for general information, perception-wise, got a passive 16 anyway. It's a slender frame, either that of a thin male or a female, most likely, is what you're kind of getting towards. The head and the hood goes a fair bit high over the top, whether there's some sort of, obviously with this world, whether it's horns or ears of some sort of rabbit creature, or just a hair that is done up really high, but the hood goes a lot larger over. There's still wraps around everything though, but the general body language that you get is shoulders all kind of closed in, arms closed in, arms like folded over themselves, leaning against the tree with their head kind of tilted away. All a lot of characteristics of them shying away from the group, still following everyone, but very nervous, jittery body language is what you're getting from your 25.
Christian, sorry, because I had to roll out at disadvantage. I forgot to roll the extra one.
Oh!
It's already kicking in.
Yeah, I know. I rolled a 15. I'm unsure how you want to roll with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I was doing it as a generic, with D&D generic rolls are usually a 13, so no, that's fine.
Okay.
I was hoping you were going to say like a nat one or something. But yeah, you notice that, Goldream, this figure seems to be Andrew message, yeah?
I can't check messages when we go to you. What is your purpose?
Can I get you to talk up a little bit, Hadrian? I can barely hear you.
I point towards him and go, you. What is your purpose?
There he is.
Cantrip message, so I don't speak. I'm just staring at you.
We don't want to miss out on those
Yep.
dulcet tones. Come on.
The figure turns towards you, rather startled. Arms unfolding instantly, like awkwardly on edge. It's definitely not a fighter's response, it's more like a flighter's response. Kind of like a bit wary. And it's quiet for a good maybe 40 seconds, no reply back. And then in common, speaking back to yourself in... let me just read the spell.
I'll send it to him.
This.
Oh yeah, chuck it on the log. Take it to the match.
Okay, perfect. So it's a whisper, but you do hear... I was checking whether or not you hear their voice or just some sort of monotone magical voice, but you hear their voice. So, back in your ear, you hear a female voice speak back to yourself. Nervously, only uttering a couple of words of, yes, I am fine. Thank you for your concern.
Okay. But the main intent would be to see whether the person was hostile or would be...
As far as you can tell, just to keep rolling with your 25 there with the insight check, because it still is going into this just conversation generally, or even just your passive insight is also a 16. The person does seem to just be very nervous and scared, this female individual.
Probably wouldn't investigate more because it would be more about trying to keep everyone safe now, so...
I would say what you're getting with your 25, which is quite a high score. I'd say that you're getting that this individual seems to be sticking with you guys for the safety of large numbers, but definitely doesn't want to be drawing any attention to themselves. But not in a way that seems to be like harmful to other people, but more defensive for themselves.
Okay. There's a lot to gauge there.
Yeah, mull that over, see what you come up with.
Yeah, I know how to take that. Yeah, I'll let someone else.
We haven't heard from Roland.
Roald suddenly speaks up as everyone's...
No, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it. Yep.
Did we lose Christian?
Christian? Yeah, no, go for it. Sorry I cut you off there, buddy. No, you're good.
I thought you... Yeah, no, like, I thought someone was talking and my Discord might have been broken. Roald suddenly addresses the rest of the crowd. You hear a bit of a kind of like kind of clearing of the throat. And then waves over the rest of everyone else that's kind of sitting off by themselves. Your party, who's kind of gone on like more like a patrol stance of standing at the edges. Okay, guys, we're going to cross the river now. Luckily, it's not super deep. It's only about waist height. We will need to obviously set up some sort of fire once we're inside just to warm off. So if everyone can just carry a couple of bits of wood over, all you civilians that don't have your hands free, that'd be really appreciated. We'll set that up straight away and formulate a plan of where to head. I'll pull some of the maps out and take a look over everything. For the rest of you lot, and points to you four, once we've set up, if you four can take guard duty at the front of the cave and just keep an eye for those fiends, devils, demons, whatever the hell they are. It was a crazy, chaotic fest back at Dunbridges. But if you can keep your eyes out, and if you spot anything, let me know straight away, and we'll see if we can evacuate everyone out the side of the cave and get them out before they have a chance to block us in here. But for now, at least we have safety, warmth, and hopefully they just follow the road past and just because we obviously came off the road a bit of a track here through the forest. So hopefully that's thrown them off for the most of the time until we decide where to go tomorrow. But yeah, let's start heading over. Sound off from everyone there, and sheaths his sword, grabs a couple of sticks that are beside him, and starts wading through the water.
While Roald is talking, Gordanthu just suddenly pipes up while he's talking. He's like, "What's he saying? Speak up! I can't hear you." And Carrick sort of plays a hand on her.
It's okay. He is letting us know that we're going to be going in there, the cave.
Oh, a cave. Oh, are we sure we're going to
Yes.
be safe in there? She's talking much louder than she needs to be. She's using her double outside voice.
You should be safe. You're a dwarf. Caves, stone, good for you. You'll be safe.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'm not really talking about myself, but she sort of turns away from Thistle a little bit and sort of hikes her thumb over her shoulder. And I'm a little bit more worried about the pointy-eared one. And Thistle, you most definitely heard her say that.
She just sort of turns,
Kira kind of
like,
gets stunned, doesn't say anything, just looks towards you, Thistle.
she's like not having it, you know, she's just coughing and like, you know, when you can just look at someone and really tell that they are just extremely sick and they don't care, they're just in their own bubble. She's just sitting there like, like, you know. Yeah, she heard it, but she doesn't care.
She's not looking too good there, Kairik. Maybe there's something you can do when we're resting in the cave. Just sort of, I'd like it if you could keep that one away from me. If the sticks and the hair and the weird way of talking weren't bad enough, I don't want to catch whatever she got from that graveyard or whatever it is that they fought down there.
Okay, I'll make sure that she stays away from you, and I'll take a look at her. That should be fine.
Alright, everyone starts making their way across this stream. It might actually be a little bit difficult for you, Butterfinger. How big are you actually? How tall is Butterfinger?
Let me have a look at this description, which is a very fun thing. He's a small size, so I'd say maybe 4 foot, 5 foot. That's
Yeah, I think halflings are around about 3 foot tall or something like that. So you must be.
are they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty similar to that if you're small. I think dwarves. They average around about 4 or 5 feet or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I'm completely.
Propose a solution. We can draw on his wisdom and say, perhaps we can use the largest one to go across the river road. And we can guide on the rope across the river. Because I have a rope, so it pulls out the rope.
Well, you can see the embankment. It's not going to be too much trouble. Mechanically, every square that's there with water in it is going to be difficult for terrain in case something goes down. Don't know if it will or not. It just depends on what you guys want to do. So, just for mechanical purposes, it would just be difficult terrain getting across there. But for Butterfinger, he might need to pop up on someone's shoulders if anyone wants to volunteer.
Well, actually, I was gonna say, I have a special spell, called Summon Beast. I would like to summon a beast, please.
All right. Talk to me about.
So, Summon Beast is just basically a bestial spirit. It manifests itself in a unoccupied space within range, and basically it's just a nice big friend. So I just summon this bear spirit. I don't know if anyone has seen Brave. But the way I imagine this is Mordu, the big, scary, angry bear with arrows sticking out of it and the blood red eyes. And I think it would just be like, you because Thistle's so dainty and cute and sunny, and Reese Witherspoon, and then this like enormous goddamn bear with arrows sticking out of it, blood pouring out of every like it is not like it is. Yeah. So I guess that's that, and it just appears.
All right, Christian, you were gonna say something before she was about to cast the spell.
Oh no. I just said that I would need to disconnect and reconnect quickly.
Oh, okay, all right, yep, no worries. So we are summoning a bear. Let me just look up the bear in the old monster.
It's a special one. So it's actually summon beast, so it's actually a whole separate spell. I'll send it to the chat. It's like Lord of the Rings level long. But feel free to read it.
Let's have a look at the log. Do you have the stats for that bear? Yeah, okay, there.
Yeah, I do. So yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. It's another novel. I'll let you. I'll let you keep me honest with the creature stats there. But there you go. I whacked a brown bear on the map for you. So feel free to move that one around. You should have permission to move that.
Awesome. So I guess I just look up to Butterfinger and I'm like, this is my bear. His name is Barry. Feel free to, like, he'll take you across the river, no problem. But you know, he's a little scary, but he's a sweetheart.
Butterfinger, you can see him sort of swaying, and his complexion's a little bit more paler. He's not looking good.
Okay, I pick him up and I put him on the bear.
I imagine some of the people are probably a little bit nervous about a bear appearing in their midst.
Well, I just have to deal with it.
I imagine it's very
I was just quickly
terrifying.
checking the spell. I'm happy to just go with it being a bear, which is cool. It does say that it's a small beast, so it would be a bear that's the same size as Butterfinger.
No, I can totally dig that. I'm changing this thing's size. Butterfinger is riding a tiny little bear. This is the best
I
thing
misread it. A very scary little bear. Rawr.
There you go. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
People aren't as scared.
Yeah, so the people, they were looking a little bit worried, but now they see this tiny little cute bear, and I imagine its eyes are probably disproportionate to the size of its body. Everyone just instantly falls in love with Barry. And if I may be so bold, can we call it Barry White?
Oh God.
Yes.
All right. So we have a new
Sounds good.
MVP, guys. It's Barry White. Give it up for Barry White. All right. And with that, you would assume that Barry is quite adept at navigating the swift or the slow-running ford here, and you can all make your way over into this nice little snug cave that we got going on. I'm sure there's nothing scary or dangerous. So while that was happening, why don't you describe, Ronan, how are you making your way across this river?
Yeah, so I just spent most of that time washing the black bile and pus off my knuckles and chest after the last encounter, using the river to wash that off. And then before everyone started going across, I said Ronan would probably stay in the middle and kind of just stand right kind of roughly in the middle, and just gotta, if anyone is having a bit of trouble, you probably just give them a hand crossing the final part. Just gotta keep an eye out once everyone's gone across, just back the direction they came from, to make sure they're not being followed up by anything.
Alright, if you're gonna have a look back the way you guys came, why don't you roll us one of those rolls that you're so adept at, perception check.
Oh, I don't want to.
Here we go.
Forward to once everyone's time.
Hey,
Just get
19.
my popcorn.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, the good thing is, if you're good at these checks, it means you're going to be absolutely rubbish at combat. So
Catching combat, yeah.
I'll take a 19. I would say, with a 19, you can say, because it's late afternoon now, you can see most of the wildlife is sort of you know, going to their respective nests and whatnot. So the sound of the birds and stuff is quieting down. There's now an orange glow cast across the sky, and you can see various bats sort of flying around and that kind of thing. Christian, hate to interrupt your meal there. Is there anything else that you think Ronan would see with a 19?
Probably noticing just the general wildlife that is still in the area. There's not a whole lot. It does seem to be that a lot of the creatures have been scared off by the kind of sixth sense of fiends being around, these dangerous creatures. You see a bird, maybe, and I would say just a couple of insects, but otherwise, what you do pick up is the lack of everything. Just that the forest does sound extremely eerily quiet, not full of nightlife, and it's obviously getting dark now, so you're not hearing as much crickets, cicadas, different mammals and stuff walking around. It is eerily empty.
Alrighty, and that's what you notice.
I was going to look forward this cave we're about to enter, so any tracks in or out of it, that sort of thing.
You wanna?
Whether someone's been there recently.
Okay, so you're looking sort of towards the entrance of the cave and having a look around to see if you can see any prints and that kind of stuff.
Prints.
You're not tracking anything, so you're just having a look. So roll a perception check as well for me.
Non-natural 20.
A natural 20.
No, non-natural.
A non-natural 20. Yeah. Okay. I will tell
Adrian
you.
with the bombs here.
I know everyone's rolling rocks. It's like the opposite of what happened. What happened for part one.
Before I rolled more than my load.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a description of what the cave looks like. So you're seeing sort of like a 15-foot or so deep, it's like a shallow cave, as it were. It's about 40 feet wide at the opening. So you're having a look mainly sort of at the opening to see if there's any sort of traffic coming and going, like signs of that. So I'll tell you, there are some signs of previous traffic. You find bits and pieces of discarded, maybe like wrappings, maybe some bits of clothes, but they seem to be quite old, and you don't get the sense that anyone's actually used this cave for quite some time. You do notice there's also a fire pit, just it's not 5 foot wide, but there's a circular stone fire pit, and if you have a look in there, you notice that the whatever embers and ash is still lying around. It's just sort of blackens the stone floor of the cave, but it doesn't look like anyone's used this cave in quite some time.
Alright, cool.
Alrighty, what is everyone else doing while Ronan is doing his perception check outwards and Count Goldream is having a look around the entrance to the cave?
Well, I guess Thistle would like to take first watch. And by Thistle, she means the bear.
Yes, like, you need rest, because the Golden would not let you do first watch. But the bear's
so the bear actually has triple the hit points she does. So the bear is first watch. And she it can speak to me. So it would like wake me up,
How long does
it's
this
got
bear
30 hit
last?
points. It lasts an hour.
An hour, okay.
So like long enough for her to get a short rest and then wake up and take the second watch, I guess.
Okay, and Roald sort of taking charge of the rest of the civilians that are with you guys. What are the civilians sort of doing at this point, Christian?
A lot of them are scared. They've started setting up the fire. With Roald's help, he probably has his own flint and steel set that up for them. And he's laying out the map a bit away from the rest of the group as he's just looking over it. Everyone was starting to get a bit too nervous. There's the odd crying still of that individual that wanted to go back for their family. Everyone's still very distraught. You see that Niels is trying to sing a small song just to himself, just to keep his own hopes up, and even he's proving to be barely afraid at the moment. Gordanthu is kind of loudly complaining still to everyone else. And that's the general scene. It's still kind of filled with this despair. Roald has made his way and is at the back of the cave now against the wall with a map laid out. That's the general scene.
Alrighty, so what's the player's intention here? We've set the scene. What do you guys want to do? Let's start with who haven't we heard with? Butterfinger. What does Butterfinger want to do?
Butterfinger is. I reckon he would try to help out with the firewood. Fire safety. But he's probably going to be staggering around, just swaying side to side while he's just trying to commit to helping this fire.
Yep. It takes a little bit of time for some people to gather some firewood, but after 10 minutes or so of them just foraging around the tree line, just on the opposite side of the water there, they manage to get a little bit together, and they get a small fire going. Imagine some of the people look a little bit uncomfortable that they've lit a fire, and you can hear some of the people start to murmur about the fire might draw the attention of the creatures or something like that, but Roald sort of hushes them down a little bit. Did we want to take a short rest? Is that what everyone's intention is?
Oh, please.
Definitely. I already did so.
Sorry, Hadrian, you got a little bit quiet again, man.
Yeah, I know, because I told you the mic's big. Can you hear me properly or not?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I don't have any damage, so I would probably stay awake. I would stay awake. Just watching the forest line, the tree line there, with the bear.
Alright. Well, with a short rest, you don't actually have to sleep. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Christian. But it's just a half-hour period of just resting, where you can't do anything too.
Yeah, even if you're just reading a book, that's still fine.
Goldream, you position yourself sort of on the edge of the embankment there, just to keep an eye out while people sort of gather themselves and get their wits. Those who wish to take a short rest, who's taking a short rest first? Who's doing that?
Butterfinger will be.
So we got Ronan, Butterfinger, and Thistle also.
Just a mechanic question.
Definitely.
Yes. Shoot.
You don't gain spell slots back from a short rest, do you?
That depends on your class. For you, I don't believe you do. No. For most classes, it's long rest. I think. What is it? What's it called? I forget the name of it. See, the Warlock. That's the one. Hey, see, told you. As soon as I start streaming, the English language just goes out of my head and I just start talking gibberish. But yeah, no. I think Warlock is the only one that gets their spells back on a short rest.
Yeah,
And wizards.
I got some back just then.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. My spirit totem and my spirit and my wild shape is back.
Yeah. The wild shape and the spirit totem. They're not actually technically spells. They're abilities or whatever they're called.
Okay.
Some stuff jumping around a little bit there. But yeah, so abilities and that kind of stuff, some of them do come back for a short rest, but generally speaking, no, spells you don't get back. So go ahead, click that short rest button, spend those hit die if you wish to spend those hit die.
I just realised I had a channel divinity turn up dead. That thing was most certainly undead, right?
I don't think so, actually.
No, it's not. It's not. You actually you did a check, a religion check to identify it, and no, we actually we realised that thing did not count as undead.
Don't feel as silly if I missed it then.
Oh, someone dropped out. Who dropped out? Oh no, that was a little while ago. We're all good. Alrighty then. So let's just we'll brush over that short rest. You guys sit down, take your short rest. I'll let Butterfinger do his short rest when he returns from his duties.
What's the name of that creature? The crazy, smelly thing?
A Bailazu?
Bulazau.
Bulazau. Bailazu, a Bulazau. Same thing, right?
Bueller.
The beaver.
I think it was Reginald. Pretty sure that was his name.
With the groups in their positioning, while George is away, there is actually something that we can do.
Yep.
Roald finishes looking at the map while everyone's having their short rests. Thistle, you kind of put your head down. Gold Dream watching everyone and just taking your little eye. Roald actually goes over and approaches you, Ronan. Comes up, seeing you kind of on watch, a bit away from the rest of the group, looking a bit more serious. Hey, haven't had a chance to introduce myself with everyone. I thought I'd come over to you here, Roald Fletcher, that's my family's title and name. Nice to meet you, extends his hand.
Yeah, Ronan was like sitting on his knees in like a meditative stance, and then as this dude comes over, he just gives like a bit of a half sigh, has been interrupted, and then sort of backs off and stands up and shakes his hand. Ronan.
Ronan, lovely, nice to meet you. Look, I've been going over some stuff here. I think I've found plans for what we can do to get out of here. You look like a type that might be able to help with this. Do you want to just come and have a look? And he just points back towards the map. Just wants to kind of take you over there and show you what he's planned out.
I'll help where I can.
Lovely. You guys head to the wall of the cave, like the back wall area. Okay. Kind of twist his head a little bit. And then starts turning towards the map. Looks up at you a bit nervously. What's your disposition towards all these people with us, Ronan?
Is he gesturing towards like the party or like the more civilian side, or just the group as a whole?
The group as a whole.
I think
you look like the individual that usually doesn't travel with a large group, bit more of a lone wolf, doing things to survive or get yourself by. I'm seeing your type every so often, traveling through Dunbridges. Am I right on that, Mark?
somewhat. The group
and
looks like just a whole massive footprint on the ground, and a lot of these people look like bait, and if we get into a fight, they'll either be a hindrance to what we're trying to do or slow us down.
Exactly. That's my worry. Look, can you give me an insight check, just quickly?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. Is he like...
Actually, add your do a perception instead of what I'm thinking, or perception rather than insight.
Classic Ronan fashion, natural one.
His eyes keep darting around towards the walls of the cave, towards the party, towards the water, towards the walls of the cave. Okay. And you're an adventurer, you're a mercenary, so you like to do things for coin payment. Correct?
Yeah, the goal's good enough.
Okay. Comes in, and in a bit more of a lower, hushed tone, a bit of a whisper. I'll speak normally so the audience can hear me, but just in that general tone. He mentions, okay, look. At the moment, the only path that we have is the road, and the demons that I saw had cavalry. They're going to catch up to us one way or another. Like you said, this lot is a bit of a hindrance. The reason I brought us to this cave is my family knew about a passageway through here, and his eyes dart and point towards about 10 feet away from him. There's a small little inlet in between two rocks.
Can Goldring hear us?
You're sitting next to this stream. The stream's kind of loud. Roll a perception check. And we'll see, depending on what you roll. Because you are.
And would I
trying
be
to keep
able
an
to
eye
roll a
out.
perception as well?
For you, Thistle, you're not so much involved. Because you're taking a short rest. I'd say you're more sort of involved in whatever it is that you're doing at this point, and keeping in mind that you are inflicted with a horrible disease. Your skin is
Forgot about that.
bubbling.
I just keep forgetting about that.
Every now and then, like a small hole will appear in your skin, like in your neck, and like little. You pick at it and a little fly just like flies out of it. So that's sort of what's going on with you. So yeah, but Goldream with a 7.
I was about to say, can I leverage a perception? Sorry, not an advantage, because it's the sort of stuff he would be like.
No, because I would say that at this point you're more you're focusing more out towards. Making sure nothing's coming in as opposed to what's going on behind you. But does that sound like a fair judgment? Or...
he'd be. As I said, there's so much looking you can do, but there's.
Okay, you tell me.
I know that above board, the way that I would rule it is above board. Obviously, his character wants to know what's going on because it's detrimental to him. In game, I was honestly thinking that you should have disadvantage because you're next to the river and he's whispering.
Yeah.
So
as opposed to using disadvantage, I just set the DC relatively high in my head type of thing. Just because you're more focused on what's going on outside the cave as opposed to what's going inside the cave. There's a lot of people moving around inside there. There's probably a lot of whispering going on, and you're sitting right next to this stream, which is making a little bit of noise as well.
Yeah,
I think that's a fairly fair sort of assessment. But I will tell you, because you're more focused on what's going on outside, if there is something out there, you're going to be more likely to notice that than what's going on behind you.
So Ronan, as he continues, he points. His eyes point out the small cabin in there. Now, my family used to have a bit of a name in Dunbridges. I came from royalty. Obviously, our family isn't in the same spot we used to be, but I do have gold that I can give you once we escape. Cave isn't going to be big enough for everyone, and even if we make it in there, there's the possibility of everyone else slowing us down, the demons then tracking us in there with all of the footprints and everyone else suddenly going in there as well, the noise we're going to create. 2 people, however, a lot more quieter. I can handle myself, but I want someone who can watch my back. What do you say?
I do like an insight check to see how much this story is like true, or if he's kind of blowing smoke up my ass.
Yeah.
Give us another natural one, buddy. We love them.
Yeah. Oh, 14.
Oh, god damn it.
14. Let me do a roll of my own here. I won't tell you whether it's persuasion or deception. That way you don't know. But I'll do a roll and I'll tell you what you kind of gauge.
I did notice while that was happening, I think Count Goldroom made an attack with a quarterstaff. Who are you actually attacking? You did 3 points of damage to something.
I saw that.
As far as you can tell, everything seems to be pretty legit from what he's saying. He did come from royalty. He knows that everyone's going to slow him down. He wants you to watch his back. You can pick up that something does seem off, whether it's just obviously now realizing that him as a person isn't quite as what he was portraying to everyone. That definitely obviously gives you a red flag or two. He was portraying the protector and he's more so the self-interested type of individual. But otherwise, the gold, the story, why he needs you, that does seem legitimate.
I'll just sort of lean back in and sort of hush the tones, like, when are we planning on leaving?
To be honest, if the demons have tracked us and they find us through the forest, which isn't too high of a assumption, they have their own ways of finding mortals. Probably soon. Everyone's looking like they're finally starting to settle down as he looks to everyone having short rests, just assuming that you guys are obviously going to sleep. Which obviously the civilians are. The civilians are kind of starting to finally set up bedrolls and whatnot now that it's been about half an hour. Once everyone's probably started to head off to bed, and the rest of the other adventurers who look, as much as you may have loved them, are you gonna waste your life and die for someone else's cause? Because I'm not. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna save myself so that I can live another day, and I think you're the same type of person as that. So once they're all asleep, I'm getting out of here, and yeah, I'd love you to come. And he reaches out his hand.
I'll shake his hand. Give him a nod.
Lovely.
Are you guys doing this sort of on the sly, on the down low, make sure no one notices?
Yeah. Let's do a stealth check for both of us and see if anyone's passive perception picks it up.
Yeah, let's see if anyone notices you guys being all shady in the corner of this cave. Uh-oh.
10 for me.
Oh, it's a 10.
Oh,
I'd pick it up.
Ronan. I only got a 15 for
And actually,
Roald's.
I will say this. You were next to the campfire, correct? The same campfire.
well, I was.
The same campfire that Butterfinger is sitting right next to. I have a passive of 14 on my perception, but I am poisoned. So, how do you want to do that?
Yeah.
I would say with a
Disadvantage
15 and a 10.
gives you a negative 5.
Yeah. Negative 5.
But I looked at it and Thistle and Goldream, both of you notice Rowan, and then the handshakers there. They're just sitting over the map, whispering. You're not sure what deal has been struck or what they're agreeing on. For obviously, as far as you're concerned, the plan with leaving. But Ronan has shaken his hand about said plan.
Okay.
As you guys,
And,
you go ahead.
I was just going to say, Roald, probably after that, just kind of like gets into a kind of crouching position, and then rather loudly, okay, well, we've got sorted the next part for where we're going to be traveling to. Everyone get some rest, and just gives you kind of like a subtle glare, and stands up and starts walking off.
Going from the real sus point to that, would Goldring pick that up as now like something is super sus?
Well, you've turned around. Roald started
notice
talking
that.
out loud. You can give us an insight check if you want to.
While that's happening, is it?
20.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep. Go ahead, Butterfinger.
Crispy.
Tell me what you wanted to say.
I was going to say, during that, is it possible that is it Carrick? I can't pronounce that name. Carrick.
Kayrin?
They're the healer.
Yes.
I think Butterfinger's affliction is now getting to the point where he knows that they're the healer, correct? That's their primary role.
Yep.
He might make a wander on over during his short rest because it's nothing strenuous apart from heaving up every now and then, but he is only small.
I'll just have to bring up. There we go. Bring that up. So yeah, you make your way over to Kayrick. Kayrick Antisar. He's sort of there with Gordanthu Silverscar. Yeah. What do you say? Do you say anything? Do you do anything? Or you just walk up to him and be like, I'm sick.
Just staggering, and I'm gonna start pulling on their robes. Just go. Their eyes rolling a little bit.
Yes.
You can't beg anymore.
Little one, are you okay? And his hand kind of reaches down. Complete white robes he's wearing. You see a little sigil on his chest around a necklace. How can I help you?
Probably a bit swollen up from all the pustules and grassy cloak, these blisters and the affliction that has been brought upon him.
Oh dear. Okay, let me take a look at what I can do. Now, I don't actually have a stats sheet for Carrick. Is he just more of a healer, where he's the priest and he gives people roots and stuff, or does he actually have spells?
No, he is just, I actually wrote him as like a healer / midwife type of thing, but I did make him his custom character sheet as a custom monster, but it's basically just commoner stats with a little benefit to his medicine skill.
Okay. Lovely. Well, he goes and takes a look at you there, which is around. Okay. This definitely looks like something that you'll need to get some sort of antibiotics, some sort of potion maybe. I don't have anything on hand myself. Everything was left back at the temple. I do have this. Roald. But he reaches in and pulls out just some roots and stuff that he's got. If you chew on this, it should ease the pain. It won't get rid of the affliction at all, but you should be able to move around a bit easier. And passes that off. In game, it's not really going to do anything for you, but it is just him kind of building a relationship, and I guess it would kind of relieve the pains in a way, but character sheet wise, it doesn't restore hit points or anything. But he does pass that over to you and kind of like rests his hand on your shoulder.
And Butterfinger's gonna start chewing, and with tears in his eyes, he's gonna give him a hug, just on his waist.
He hugs back, reaches down, like hugging a toddler from your height.
While this is sort of happening, some of the people were already sort of making themselves comfortable, as we pointed out earlier. Some people have already made some bedrolls. The lady who was upset at the beginning of this adventure about her family, she was absolutely exhausted. Just the toll grief has taken on her mentally. She's almost like passed out already. She's lying in her bedroll, but she starts all of a sudden just like squirming around. She's like, "There's something in here."
What?
Like I can feel it. There's something in here. It's moving around. And she suddenly wide-eyed starts like trying to crawl out of her bedroll. Actually, Butterfinger, did you finish your short rest?
Well, because it was an strenuous activity, just walking around.
No, you're fine.
I kind of figured that was. Yeah.
Okay. I just wasn't sure because you went away when we did the whole short rest sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, this woman just suddenly starts panicking and kicking her bedroll off of her, and she sort of squirms her way out of it, and she like steps back, putting her back up against the wall of the cave, which is now lit only by the like very small fire that's in the center of the cave there, casting sort of shadows. The sun is now almost completely gone down. So there's very, very dim light going on outside. She presses her back up against the wall of the cave. What do you do?
Is there any sticks or anything around? Like big, like bits of driftwood?
There might be some pieces of kindling and stuff like that people hadn't used in the fire yet that you could use.
I guess I'm going to pick up a big bit of driftwood and start poking their bedroll.
Yeah, okay. So you start poking around the bedroll. Roll a perception check for me. See what happens.
With disadvantage, hooray. Let's have a go. So first one is a 12, and the second one is a natural 1.
Oh god,
no, wrong. It's a 7. It looked like a natural 1 from there. So it's an 11.
Yeah, well, you don't need a particularly high roll for this. You stick your stick actually into the bedroll, and you sort of you lift it up, and you can see like something moving around inside of the bedroll. Something it's like almost sort of slithering around in there. That's what you see. It's not huge.
Yeah.
It's only it's only 3 or 4 inches long or something like that. It's not something massive.
I come running.
Everyone sort of starts panicking, and they back off as far away from this bedroll as they can.
Yeah, but I think it's just gonna start swinging and start trying to like put it like putting a fire out rapidly with this bit of driftwood, just trying to hit this sleeping bag.
Yeah. Okay. You start smacking down on this sleeping bag, and you just sort of it gets stuck on the end of your stick, and you sort of fling it up, and like the sleeping bag goes flying through the air, and you see something. It's kind of hard to see what it is, but something small, roughly 3 or 4 inches, and it just sort of flies towards the back of the cave and like lands somewhere towards the back of the cave. What do you want to do?
Ronan, get it! What's that?
Does anyone want to have a look? It's sort of landed behind a rock at the back of the cave, sort of thing.
Thistle.
I'll look from the mouth of the cave in. I'm not going to go in, but I'll look from like the mouth of the cave and try and look in.
I'll go.
All right.
I'll take one for the team.
You want to have a look? Okay. Roll a perception check for me.
Awesome, and that's with disadvantage.
You're not feeling well. Sorry?
Actually, no, because I did turn around.
Yeah, all this commotion would have drawn your attention. You would be paying attention to what's going on inside the cave now. So, definitely.
Awesome, it's rolling. So I got a 13 and a 5.
5.
Lovely.
You go to have a
Both
look.
of the poison people have.
You're right. Your eyes start just tearing up, just because of the smoke, as well as the effect of this whatever it is that's afflicting you. You can't see anything at this point. Goldream, you can make a perception check as well if you want to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I definitely know.
Yep, you're right.
Just to cut for a second, I do remember, Goldream, did you have an insight check before?
That's true, he did.
Yeah, because we saw you do it, but obviously this commotion has just I wouldn't say it's forgotten, but there's more pressing matters to attend to.
Okay. Well, yeah. Give us your perception check.
21.
21. Pretty good.
Oh, hang on. I didn't add my bonus to it. I'm sorry.
What's your bonus to perception?
+5.
+5. Oh, that's not too bad.
Oh, I got 10 anyway. I don't think it's gonna do anything, but
Something
it's there.
comes skittering over the edge of a rock at the back of the cave. What do they see?
Kind of heading in the general direction of, I would say, Butterfinger. Sorry, in the general direction of outside of the cave, but it's kind of like beelining to Butterfinger. Is a centipede, and it looks like it was just in the bag and then scared the lady, and it's come. The little insect is coming towards you, Butterfinger.
Cantrip Sacred Flame damage.
Butterfinger was just about to get his jar out, and he's like, but then, I guess the sacred flame's gonna go off.
But the second I see it, I would just be like, yeah, no.
Alright.
No.
I would try and eat it.
How does Sacred Flame read?
You have to do a dexterity saving of 14, so he has to roll, obviously.
Alright, a dexterity
Ooh,
saving throw. Yeah, I can do that.
It got an 18.
Yep. So, yeah, you cast the Sacred Flame, but I mean, you're trying to hit something that's, 3 or 4 inches long and very thin. It seems to, like, it's strange because it kind of sees it coming and it, like, darts out of the way, lets the Sacred Flame just sort of impact on the ground next to it, and then it just sort of, diverts its attention back towards Butterfinger.
Butterfinger, if you're trying to jar it, so you get up and you're like 5 feet and you're just about to try to jar it.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. As that happens, you want to explain spin, or do you want me to?
Why?
here we go.
Actually,
What?
Everyone except for Butterfinger and Thistle, you're right next to him. Everyone else roll a perception check for me.
Oh,
9.
So we got a 19 from Count Goldroom, a 9 from Ronan. Count Goldream, for some reason, you are absolutely on fire. You have just the most deft eyes for an 80-year-old man. You can actually see another centipede start to scurry its way from somewhere further back in the cave. And with a 19, you notice, like, there's a bat flying around in the cave as well. And you you call that out to Butterfinger. You're like, there's another one, Butterfinger. You look away for a second. You see another little centipede, and it scurries up towards you. And strangely, it stops, and it sort of gets up on its sort of hind legs, and it sort of starts swaying from side to side. And you're like, well, what's going on here? And you look back towards the first centipede, and it absolutely just scares the shit out of you, because instead of the centipede, now there is something else. And it looks like that. And you look back towards it, and it's like, ah! Everybody roll for initiative.
Oh, where's my first? I rolled 6.
Initiative. That's a 14. Do I get disadvantage on initiative rolls?
Yeah.
Or is that?
yeah, I was about to ask.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, you do. They count as an ability check.
Okay.
I got a 7.
An 11 on my end.
And I'm going to change the
You also have a bear
music
too.
there.
A bear.
Oh, it's gone. It's been an hour.
It's a short rest, half an hour, an hour. I always forget this. I'm a DM and I should probably know this. Christian, your thoughts?
I think it's an hour.
It's an hour?
That's alright.
Alright.
I can summon it again twice. It's all good. The bear will come back.
Very loud. Sorry about that, viewers and or listeners. So yeah, Butterfinger, you look back towards this thing and all of a sudden it's just changed its shape. And it's like, bah! And you see the other one just suddenly just morph as well into this creature. And Count Goldream, the bat that you saw flying around in the cave, also morphs into one of these creatures.
Do we know what the creatures are? Sorry.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw a picture of it up in the log there, and then we're actually going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we're going to get into combat, guys.
Teased. Okay.
That's what you see. It's like, if anyone's listened to this on Spotify, it's like this small bipedal green, almost lizard-like creature. It's got insect-like feet with two clawed toes. It's got like this tiny little mouth with a row of deadly-looking fangs in it, long, sharp ears, and a pair of horns sprouting from its head.
And these are all tiny creatures. They're all about the size of, I would say, maybe like a dog size.
So the size of Butterfinger.
Yeah, pretty much your size. Think of who's seen the movie Gremlins?
Oh.
Yeah.
I know that's a throwback to way back when, but yeah, that's essentially like an adult version of a gremlin.
For all you boomers out there.
Alrighty, let's take 5 minutes and we'll get stuck back into it.
Alright.
Just turn that down, leave the bubbling brook sounds. Yeah, I'll be back in maybe not even 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah. I can believe God is actually spiritual this whole time.
Oh goodness. Oh well.
Anyone else ready for a hashtag nap?
I'm ready for a hashtag not a good time. But
Sorry, me too. I'm ready for moonbeam. I'm just gonna first chance I get moonbeam.
oh god.
If you could put it on top of the creatures and Butterfinger, that would be lovely.
I mean, she is sick, so I don't really think what our wits are about.
Can I ask you a mechanic
Or
question?
should we start with the unicorn?
Yeah.
The guidance cantrip,
Mhm.
which I will send to log now.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Find
Yeah.
as an ability check. That's specifically like perception and that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. So it's any of those skills. Rolling initiative is an ability check. Otherwise, it's any of the general things of doing a basic like strength, intelligence, or charisma check, or doing one of the things from the skill list. It doesn't include saving throws or passive checks. So it's initiative, basic checks, or skill list.
Would that include just your very for example,
Yeah,
second
that's
like
okay.
cantrip is dexterity 14. Would that add anything to that?
No. So, with things like those, that's forcing the other creature to make a roll.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Plus it's passive, like you said. It's,
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And the thing is, like, all of those sorts of spells are saving throws as well. So you couldn't say someone sacred flamed you couldn't guidance yourself and then add a d4 to it because it's a saving throw, not a. Yeah. And then the other thing with guidance is an amazing role-playing tool because you constantly use it for every single check because it's just one action. You touch yourself, you get advantage trying to persuade the guard. You touch yourself, you get advantage trying to climb the rocks. In combat, however, that is where it falls off because it's an entire action to do it. So your entire turn is casting cantrip on someone else, and all it gives them is 1d4 towards something like trying to do like an acrobatics check. So out of combat, it is amazing. In combat, it's not your choice. It's definitely a double-edged sword.
Unless you've got nothing else and say, you can do it, you know.
I'm keen for where this is going, though. I liked the little exchange with Ronan there. That was some fun narrative.
Oh, I have something
Do
up
it.
my sleeve for this interaction. Oh, actually, yeah, that's right. That was the insight check. If we got quick time.
Yeah.
What did he gain? So obviously he realised something sus was up, and then you did that. The switcher character. And shit, so
Rather than saying it off the stream, I'll wait until we go back and when
Yeah,
combat and
cool.
everything gets started. When it's Roald's turn, I'll tell you what you picked up from that.
sure.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a little idea.
Unless you're just talking to.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yes. I've got to add all these people to the combat tracker. Oh, now I've got to keep track of what everyone's doing. Alright, we're going to do, and we'll add the two of you to the combat tracker. There we go. Now that's what I call a stacked deck. We've got to add these people too. Add to combat tracker. So yeah, a little bit of intrigue between our favourite samurai, Ronan, and our not so favourite NPC, Roald Fletcher. Yeah, good times. I want to get a little bit of insight. Well, we are still live. Let's get a little bit of insight. What's going on in Ronan's head?
Yeah. So, well, in his head, his most hated type of person is a coward or someone who tries to run away when they're like needed for something, or like in dire straits, or someone who said they're going to protect a group of people and is now trying to run away. Not high on Ronan's favourite list of people. So
I imagine you and the Kobold Ranger probably have had some tense moments as well. You're probably not good bedfellows. You're not sharing bedroll.
yeah, there's always like just a general when Butterfinger's kind of just around, but it's like he's kind of used to him because like he's done like a job or two with him, but he's just kind of used to the of what is Butterfinger.
I imagine Thistle's probably starting to feel a little bit tense with the was it Fear of the Dark, wasn't it?
Yeah. Look, it's coming on slowly. At least it's an open area. If it was like sort of pitch black, I guess that's when we'd have a problem.
Yep.
But at least there's people around. But yeah, no, she's not vibing. No.
It's starting to feel a little bit tense. The tension is growing, and then I imagine the tension probably exploded a little bit when three otherworldly creatures just suddenly appeared out of nowhere.
Just
And
a little bit.
Hey,
what do you? Yes.
did you want? I was just going to check. Did you want to do a roll for the moon tonight? If it is bright and providing light, or non-existent?
Yeah. Let's roll a d20, and we'll see what the state of the moon is like. What do you say? High, bright, low, not light.
That makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's roll that. So a 12. It's
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
You got a bit of a half
I was going
moon.
to say you could probably
Half moon.
roll a
Make
percentage
that
for the
silver
moon,
mix.
because technically the moon does
Yeah.
percentage.
Yeah,
Oh, true.
but that would
Um,
mean I have to roll again. No, I'd say 12. Probably like a half moon situation going again.
60% of the room is
I mean, enough to cast moonbeam, maybe.
You're going to scorch me.
No, just not enough to
Maybe?
cast moon. Maybe it was a 13. You may be able to cast moonbeam. It's just not enough. Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
See?
I honestly thought that would be the funniest thing.
This is my whole plan.
No, it's fine. It's more than 50% active tonight. You can cast your damn moonbeam.
Oh, goodness me.
But I mean, the thing that we have to talk
Yeah.
about, Christian, is are these creatures gonna
It's the
get?
one thing that makes me not squishy. So.
Are they gonna get a surprise round?
See, what I'm thinking is
Come on.
Well, so the thoughts in my head is Count Gordream, you noticed them. The person that didn't notice and who they're attacking, however, is Butterfinger. Who was trying to jar one crouched on the ground. So I would think, yes, if they were attacking Goldream, no, but that's not their current target.
No,
Alright.
that's completely fair.
So
Completely
they're gonna have a surprise round. So only Butterfinger. I'm gonna say Butterfinger, and probably the civilians. They're not trained in the combat arts. They're probably a bit surprised by what's happening. So I'm gonna say just Butterfinger and the civilians are gonna be surprised. Everyone else can act normally for the first round. Does that sound fair to everyone?
Absolutely.
Makes
Absolutely.
sense.
Alright, let's get that combat music back up and running. And how's about we dive into tonight's first combat, guys?
Yay!
And rolling above a 3 for the first time in his life, Ronin, you are
Yeah.
first up.
Yeah.
Only because it's combat.
It's combat, you're back in action, buddy.
Yeah. Wait,
Do you want to do the? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say do the surprise rounds first, or and then
Well-
go into.
The way that the surprise round works is just for round 1, whoever didn't notice the creatures first has the surprise condition for that first round, so they just can't act. Everyone else who
Okay,
not
yeah.
surprised can act as per normal.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to run up to the 2 because I think the other ones I can really see because the other ones are kind of blocked by the civilians. So I run up to these 2 as they're kind of going for Butterfinger, and I will have a swipe at the one directly beneath me and Butterfinger. Unsheath the sword and just go for a straight slap across his back.
Alright? Yeah, alright, go for it.
Any flanking there at all?
Oh,
I'm assuming flanking.
10. No, because Butterfinger is surprised, so I'm going to say that he is not threatening.
Or scratch
So-
the 10, it's a natural 1.
yeah, I was gonna say, I saw that.
So,
I was going to say, unfortunately, like for Butterfinger, he does have the pack tactics, but if you want to negate that because of the surprise round, that's fair.
Yeah, I would say just you're surprised, like you've been taken off guard. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
So it was a 10 for the hit.
it was a natural 1, so 6.
Natural 1. All right, we're back to our normal Toby.
Yeah, I'm back.
It's good to have you back, buddy. I missed you.
Spectacular return to form.
Yeah.
Next up is Valise. She's surprised. Those people are surprised. That person's surprised. Butterfinger's surprised. Niels Chedusk, he is surprised. K-Rick Antasar, he is surprised. And it is Quasit number 3.
Lovely.
Closet.
Um,
Closet.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, should
So,
Quickly, start googling.
which one is?
I've played a bit Avernus. I know exactly what they are, but I will.
Do they have they experienced this character? Sorry, this creature.
Probably, most likely not. You'd have to spend your turn doing a religion check to see if you remember it from studies. Which one is number 3 for me? So I know.
Number 3 is blue.
Blue. Okay, lovely. So this one is actually going to turn towards Ronan. Its body and gesture was all leaning and kind of starting to cower over, tower over Butterfinger, but it turns towards you, and its face kind of like has a flash for a second, almost like of fame magic, of like terror and fear. You see its eyes kind of distort out, very ethereal looking. Can I please get a wisdom saving throw from you?
Natural 20 for 22.
Lovely. So you succeed.
Very nice.
And that is actually its turn.
All right. Just for people, if you're just listening to this,
back.
What we have is we have the cave. We have Butterfinger sort of in the western end of the cave, with two of these creatures just to the north of him, and right next to Butterfinger is Thistle. And we have Kairik, Antisar, and Gordantu Silverscar, the elf and the dwarven commoners. And we have Ronan flanking one of the creatures, just on the opposite side. What were you saying, Christian?
I was just basically expanding the end of its turn, so it once it realizes that effect didn't work on Ronan, it kind of goes on a bit of a defensive, turning halfway around towards you now. And that is that Quasit's turn.
Next one is Quasit number 2, which is the orange one, which is situated all on the eastern side of the cave.
Okay, 1 second. Who's the person? Is that just one? Oh, that is okay. That is her next to that. Okay, so this one is going to. Let me just check your. Look, it's a beast. It's a demon. This may not be the purpose of the D&D story at the moment for it to attack this kind of stuff. But I'm going to play these monsters how they would be played. So it is actually going to turn towards the closest humanoid, which is Vasily, and make an attack against her. It's going to claw with its kind of enlonged black fingernails.
Yep.
And make an attack on her. So it is a 19 to hit.
19, that's a hit.
Yep. It deals 6 points of piercing damage. The fingernails jam into her stomach. Commoner, I don't have her stuff up.
Yeah, no, that's enough to take Belize down, unfortunately.
Oh.
This creature just
And then
pounces on her and just starts raking away on her face. Then she collapses down to the floor of the cave with a scream that echoes off the walls.
Just checking as well, because there's further effects. Is she currently just unconscious, or was that a fatality?
That's, I mean, she has 4 hit points, and she now has 0 hit points.
Okay, no, that's fine. Well, that would basically be it then, because she would need to make a save, which she would automatically fail, being unconscious, and take a further 7 poison damage. So that is her dead.
Yeah, you can see as this creature's just clawing at her face. She tries to pull it off, but she's not strong enough. It sinks its claws onto her face and starts essentially just degloving her face. And you can see where the claws rake up against her skin. It like starts to bubble and burn away.
I would even say, just quickly to add for flavor here, for Count Goldream, because you were noticing her and you do have one of the highest passive perceptions, when the cloth starts to get ripped away, you start to notice a purple skin and 2 horns that curl around on her head, recognizing the tiefling race.
Yeah, and I imagine some of the commoners, the sound of her screaming as she has her face literally ripped off by this creature, turn towards her, and maybe someone points out, he's like, it was her all along. She's in league with these creatures. And then we go on to the next. Is you, Thistle?
Okie dokie, hokey pokey. How close is everyone to me?
You've got 2 Quasits. One of them is 5 feet away from you. Another one is 10 feet away from you. You're standing right next to Butterfinger.
Okay. How many hit points do you have again, Butterfinger?
I had 30, but now I'm down to 24. I'm good. I'm good.
Newcomb.
Okay. I guess being that she is very ill and obviously not in the right frame of mind, she would like to cast Moonbeam. She's gone. Like, she has, like, you know, when you're really sick and your thoughts are jumbled, and she was gonna cast, like, Spirit Totem, but, you know, straight to Moonbeam instead. And she does so.
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, it's, you know, so any creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn is engulfed in a ghostly flame that causes searing pain. It must make a Constitution saving throw, otherwise it takes 22 damage.
Alright, so we're saying con saving throws for my creatures here? What was the area of effect for that spell? Sorry, I'll just draw it on you.
I was gonna say, I think it's 4 squares, and so it would be your choice of if you're wanting to hit both of them. Do you want to hit both of them and Ronin, or both of them and Butterfinger?
Can I hit Ronin, please? Just because he's soft and I like Butterfinger better.
She wants to hit Ronin because she just doesn't like you, Toby. There's no two ways. We can't beat around the bush anymore. She just wants you dead. She wants you dead. She wants you out of the game.
I'm sorry, dude. The Moonbeam do. Moonbeam do.
So I'm going to put a little blue square in the area where I believe that you want to cast your Moonbeam. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
All right. So Ronin, give us that Constitution save.
And was it a con save?
Yeah. It's got a. I think it's against mine.
Deposits fail.
Oh, awesome. They take 21. They take 22 damage.
21 for me.
All right. So Ronin, you save. Does he take half damage on a save?
Yeah, he takes half damage.
So 11 points of damage.
Sorry, but not sorry.
I was getting ready for some Kentucky Fried Kobold or something.
I imagine it's probably a
checking
really
here.
healthy way to cook something as well with the Moonbeam. I can't imagine there's, like, you know, any negative side effects from that, like cooking in fat. Yep.
Yeah. Check the Heroes
Thistle,
Feast
just
cookbook.
checking.
Yeah, I mean, it is a searing pain, so I imagine it would be like grilling.
Oh my god, guys. Okay. Thistle, whereabouts are you reading the damage? Because what I've got is it says 2d10 radiant.
Yeah, I've got 2d10 and then I just rolled it and it just said 22.
Is it 2d10 plus something?
I was gonna say 2d10 can't ever be over
Plus
20.
That'd be plus your
that
spellcaster modifier as well.
That would make
if-
sense. Okay, I will roll that.
2 ones,
No,
2
the
ones, 2
spell
ones.
itself-
12 damage. That sounds a bit better.
12.
All right.
Okay.
Ronin, you take 6 points of damage.
You could have roasted a kobold and had 0 ramifications. Maybe, who knows?
But just stay on and
but-
every turn.
Both of the closets light up in holy flame, screaming as their skin starts to disintegrate away.
Yeah, staying on the gremlins, on the gremlins comparison. If you remember, there's a scene where one of them gets put in the microwave. That's what's happening to these closets.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't born before then, so.
Neither was I. But the mental image
when
is
did
enough.
that come out? Because I was born in '87. Surely it's not that old.
Yeah, I've seen it. I was born in '98, so surely.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
2002,
Come on,
so-
it's Steven Spielberg, isn't it?
Are their closets in their original form?
What do you mean? Are they in the original form?
Because the moonbeam spell says the shape changer makes a saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh,
If it fails, it also reverts to its original form and can't assume a different form until it leaves the spell's light.
look at that. Well, it doesn't make much difference now, but yes, they are in their original form.
Unless they fail, anyway.
Yeah, well, you know, it's, they failed, so that doesn't make much difference at this point. Is there anything else that you wanted to do with your
Oh
turn?
my god.
Oh,
Nope.
I was just going to say, Corrupted Tech here in the chat came out in 1984.
1984.
Years old.
So, it's only 3 years before I was born.
That's like double my age.
Movies were different back then, alright? You didn't have streaming services. You didn't know what year that movie came out. You just watched the goddamn thing.
Back in my day.
So, whose turn are we up to?
We are up to our favourite, Roald Fletcher.
Oh, that's actually what I was getting towards, because this is going to take the combat in a different direction. Roald, actually noticing, he had this prepared earlier, but noticing the demons have finally started to come, is going to use his turn to throw a bucket of water over the fire, creating darkness. And as the kind of ash puffs up and smokes away and creates a bit of a mist, is going to run towards that gap.
Someone catch him.
So that will be his turn. And if I remember correctly, Thistle may need to do some sort of check on her turn, as it is now classed as complete darkness, if not dim light.
Oh yes, oh
Oh,
yes. If it's
chestnut.
complete darkness, I think Thistle needs to roll in that madness table.
But it's a pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius, my friend. It's pale light. That moonbeam is casting light. I thought about this.
How long does
Big brain
Moonbeam
move.
last?
It lasts up to a minute.
Get the hell out of here.
Also, just for combat's sake, oh, George just took a jump. For combat's sake, Goldroom does not have dark vision, so Goldroom, you see the moonlight, but the rest around you is now complete darkness.
Alright, so
But that is Roald's turn.
talk to me about the area of the darkness. What are we looking at?
Look, other than the moonbeam doesn't create light from its spell. It's not like the light spell. It doesn't create 5 feet or 10 feet or an extra 20 feet. It is just the illumination of itself. Think of it kind of like an LED light. There's a thin light around the edges of it. So I would say everywhere is just either complete darkness or very minimum from the moonlight would be like
Did your character see in the darkness
The-
running towards this place that we
no.
Okay. There you go. There's your area of darkness.
So it would basically be everywhere, and the people with dark vision can obviously just see the same as last session in different shades.
You would swap into this hole you couldn't see.
Well, considering he has 30 feet of movement, I would say on his turn he could feel out the hole. Because he was standing on the exact spot behind it, all he had to do was turn around backwards, feel out where the crevice is, and then make his way in.
Yeah, actually, we'll go back to your insight check there, Count Goldream.
Oh, but yes, with your...
Yeah, because I've been watching this go. I'm also sensitive.
Yeah, now that you see that this happening, you start to realize he had positioned himself strategically in this position, as if he was getting prepared for something to happen, to be able to make a quick escape.
With your passive perception, you probably do notice him start to, as soon as the light is just going out, the water's kind of over the fire, because you're facing that direction anyway, you see him turn away, and then it's just darkness. So you don't know where he's gone, but you see that he's turned away from the fire as the last glimpse that you have of it before light vanishes. And exactly like a light turning off in a room, it's now like utter darkness, like your eyes are getting adjusted to it.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, thought.
that's what you see. Count Goldream, it's actually your turn.
I can't see jack shit.
Not in the cave, no.
No.
What I might do... How far could I move in the darkness?
So you can still
You can still move your usual
I'll let you explain.
I'll
Christian,
let you explain.
please. No, please. You are my guest.
Good sir, good sir. Correct. So what you would need to do is give us a plausible reason for where you're moving. You still can move your movements, so what you could say you're doing is you could probably, as sad as it is, still hear the closet ripping into the now deceased body of Vasily, so you could run towards that noise.
For mechanics' sake, even though you can't see, you can still identify the location of things by sound. You can still attack them, but you will be rolling with disadvantage, as if they were invisible.
Yeah, what do I want to do? I can't see shit. So I got... what I would do is I would have pulled the shield out, like if I was ready the attack, so I've got my shield, which is my spellcasting focus. So what I might do is cast light on the shield, which will give me 24 radius dim light. So if we can have that, we got a little thinner bomb.
This music's driving me nuts. Should have opted for one with a little bit of a longer boot period. So what are we doing? We're casting lights on
I'm going to cast
your
light
shield.
on my shield
Yep.
as a cantrip.
Okay.
I still have movement left, don't I? Because I'm going to move to the middle, sort of. Is here-ish if I can do it.
Oh! I am back. Sorry, we've got a storm here at the coast at the moment.
Oh no, things have moved
So
around.
I'm going to go there,
I've gone
which
back.
hopefully gives people a bit more light. 10, 15, 20. That should keep all of our characters in light. So I've cantripped light on the shield, I've moved, I'm going to use a bonus action to create a spiritual weapon, which will be the holy symbol. I think that can move.
Over there. Talk to me about light. Let's go back to that. Is it dim light in a certain radius?
Yes, dim light.
Dim lights. And what was the effects of the darkness? What was causing the darkness? Sorry, Christian.
The light was out, so
yeah.
there's actually, there's a moon, so there wouldn't be complete darkness.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
that's what I was explaining. The moon, because this is just a cheap way for players to get around darkness. The moon is providing, like, you can see basic bare silhouettes of darkness, and even then it's only when things are moving around and running around. Otherwise, it is complete darkness at the moment. The reason why complete darkness came around, Sven, is Roald used his bucket of water to put out the fire. That was the only thing providing light in the cave at this point in time.
Yep.
The moonlight is just bare things where with your perception you might notice a creature moving around.
Yes, of course.
But
I'll
otherwise,
say
it is the middle of the night.
you can make an argument of dim light outside of the cave, but the cave is actually covered overhead. So any moonlight that might be, outside is just not
That's good. Got my shield.
helping you guys out on the inside. So you've got what's the radius again? Sorry, I know I already asked you.
20 feet.
20 feet of dim light. So I'm just going to chuck that aura on you. 20 feet. There you go. Anyone inside that circle, you now have dim light. We're going to this closet, who is in fact dead, so we'll just get rid of him now.
Oh, hang on, I have a bonus action, a spiritual weapon.
Yeah, bonus action.
Would I be able to reach... Can I reach that closet from there?
Which one?
20 feet.
That closet? Yeah, you could have, from where you were, you could have walked up to that closet, no problem.
But now, because my main purpose here would be to give everyone light, so I'm going to stay definitely where I am there. Would I be able to hit that closet? No.
Talk to me about what are you attacking with?
Spiritual weapon. So I'll create a spiritual weapon, which will be the oldest weapon.
Can you chuck that in the log for me? I can have a quick look.
So
It should be fine. You can because you can summon it 60 feet away.
Yeah, cool. So
You can only move it 20 feet per turn, but you can summon it 60 feet away from you on the very first turn, so that would be fine.
I really want to kneecap that dude running, but we have other priorities. So I'm going to create a spiritual weapon next to that other closet. Then I'm going to try and attack with it, obviously.
I'm going to chuck something down for you to represent your spiritual weapon. There you go. Where are you? There you go. There's your spiritual weapon, right there.
Yeah. Cool. So does a 16 hit?
A 16, I believe, does hit. Now, we are talking about dim light here, and you are at a distance. I don't know how that works. It's just a melee
Ranged
attack.
weapon, so I can create it from 60 feet, and the spiritual weapon itself can be 20 feet. But Christian said, I'll spawn it next to the closet.
Because it's in dim light, I think that doesn't present disadvantage from memory.
No,
it's only if it's dark buckets.
With a melee attack, he won't get disadvantage. With a ranged attack, he would. But it literally says in the spell, it says melee spell attack. So yeah, no, you're fine. You can make that attack.
So
Breaking the game.
8 whole damages, please.
See, it's things like that. Like you can DM for like years, and then someone throws that crap at you, and you're like, well, I don't know how that. Like,
I've always loved my spiritual weapon.
You're gonna make a call. 8 points of damage.
Yes, on the closet, please.
Describe this kill for me.
It'd probably be like a decapitation, so there's the whole list. It would just, like, because it's been spawned, I would try not to throw it. So if it's a decapitation,
What is the weapon?
It basically, as per the description, will take any form I want it.
Yeah.
It used to take a Bible and used to bash people with a Bible. But no, it would so this,
Oh,
Alright.
that's cool.
Okay.
So this is like spinning towards the guy. Decapitation.
It would almost look like those Oriental Asian weapons, which are like a disc that you throw. Yeah. Oh, the larger versions. I can't remember the name of them, but that's very cool. Awesome.
So obviously, then we'll just toggle waiting for the next turn.
All right.
That's it. My turn.
Cool. That kills that closet. At that moment, everybody roll a perception check for me.
While they're all doing their perception checks for the crowd here, Sophie, glad that you love the music. Nice to see you in the chat. And Corrupted Tech, Sven got us all using a extension called Above VTT, which goes on to D&D Beyond, which is great because then you can still have all your character sheets and everything, and you don't need to use a third-party program. So he's awesome to find that. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, check that out.
Above
VTT, it's a virtual tabletop. It's crowd funded, or not crowd funded. It's just a bunch of people. You know, they wanted a virtual tabletop that just integrated with D&D Beyond, so they just made it themselves. Check it out. It's awesome. It's super easy. Just works as an extension for Chrome, and it makes your life as a DM just so much easier.
For players too, because you can share your character sheet or specific spells or weapons or anything.
Exactly. All right.
And the rolls, of course, and the rolls. Yeah.
Let's talk about these perception checks. What did we got? We got Count Goldream coming on hot with another 18. We got Ronin in second place with a 12. Butterfinger a 9, and Thistle also with a 9. I'm going to say that the darkness doesn't really count for this because it's more of an audio perception check. Christian, tell them what they've won. What did they hear?
Perfect. Worst noise to hear.
bellowing through the forest, this awkward ripple, similar to a scream, but almost in reverse, like an inverse scream, like it's coming into the lungs rather than out of the lungs.
And it seems to be coming from multiple sources. We're out of combat just for a moment. What do you want to do?
I'm not trying to kneecap this guy with spiritual weapon.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to step of the wind to give myself 80 feet of movement to get in front of him, and then hold him at sword point.
Moonbeam.
While you guys are finishing off these closets, who's close?
Oh no, I think they're doing this to Roald, Sven.
Oh yeah. I was just going to say. So you guys are trying to chase him into the cave here. Is that what we're doing?
My end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to use a bonus action to step of the wind to give myself 80 feet of movement to try and get in front of him.
Well, that's a bonus action?
Yeah, step of the wind. I can take the dash action as a bonus action. So spend a key point to just.
Good luck, everyone.
Alright, I'll tell you what you notice. Yeah, all the civilians are sort of like just scared. They don't know what's going on. They're looking around. They look towards you guys. Ronan just legs it off to the back of the cave.
Giving a sort of aggravated look at Thistle as I leave as well. He's burnt the shit out of me.
I'm sorry.
With my dark vision, do I notice Ronan just full on sprinting the hell out?
Yes,
Times
you would see this happening.
Butterfinger is gonna just scream, almost in a most cowardly way, and just go. And he's just gonna start running after Ronan.
Okay, you're heading off in that direction. What is? Oh, Ronan's headed off in that direction. What's Thistle doing?
Well, I mean, someone's got a moonbeam, the scary thingy with bubbles, and it may as well be me with my moonbeam. I'm very excited about moonbeam. I'm not sure if you can.
I'm going to listen back to this and see how many times you actually say moonbeam and write it out.
Just like Innocence, you've got a counter going up in the corner.
I'm gonna say 15 times.
All right, everyone, have a guess. Tell me, we got 15 times for George.
27.
27. For
12.
Adrian. 12 for Grace. Toby, what did we get?
I'm going to go 11.
11. Christian, you want to take a punt?
I'll be honest. I was looking at monsters and what to do next with Roald.
Okay.
I actually missed what we're doing.
All right. We're all taking bets on how many times Grace says moonbeam this session.
Oh, I'm gonna say 69.
69. Corrupted Tech says 27. Yeah, like, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I just took that at face value and just continued the stream like a responsible adult.
See, now I've got to be creative about what I say, and I'm no longer going to say moonbeam, and in fact going to start paraphrasing. So this will be fun.
I'll coach
Only
it out of you.
moonbeam.
Sophie
Beam
said
of radiant light.
32. All right, let's find out who is correct. All right. You can hear the sounds of this hooting, this ungodly hooting and howling, and it seems to be getting closer and closer. And you start to see figures in the pale moonlight moving around amongst the boughs of the trees on the opposite bank of the river there. Ronan has just dashed off after Roald. Butterfinger's legging it after him. What does Ronan see Christian?
Approaching up, slowly kind of meandering, you finally see, or those of you with dark vision, start noticing coming through the tree lines are greys between the blacks of the night. Grey figures that almost look like, let's say, like a mound of mud or an anthill. It's a weird shape to describe. This like almost like sludge-like shape, slowly moving through. But you see limbs moving, arms kind of de-separating from the body and then getting sucked back in. A leg kind of like weirdly moves in joints that aren't meant to move that way, and the entire body is very cone-shaped, but lots of masses everywhere. Finally, when they come within view, you start to see, obviously right now there's no colors with all of this, it's just different types of grays, but you start to see like a face on where the head is meant to be, a face on where a peck is meant to be, another face down near the legs. You see two arms weirdly coming out of awkward shapes. The mouths kind of tear away, similar to like the Joker's scars in the movie, where you can see the teeth bare without lips. Hairless creatures, no eyes, eyebrows, and these sunken pink eyes, not colors, but sunken eyes, just milky, moving their way now through the darkness towards all of you with that. As they breathe, almost, is when they do that inverse scream that is now just echoing through the cave, covering most noises coming from all of them.
Let me just check that real quick.
They're coming from the other side of the river, aren't they? Like towards
Yes.
us. Okay.
A wild Trubbish has appeared. Yeah, I was about to say, fight or run.
Yes. So yeah, that's what you see. The people are starting to look around, panicked, and they're like, you hear that lady call out again. Roald, what do we do? There's more of these demons coming. She's looking around. She doesn't see him. She's panicked. Everyone's panicking.
Did I catch him?
Okay.
Yeah. So you've ducked inside the cave, Ronan. As you've got to squeeze through this cave. Roll a dexterity saving throw for me. We'll see what happens. So
I love it.
unfortunately, just because you have to squeeze through the mouth of that cave, you catch a glimpse of Roald, just for like a flash of a second before he turns around a corner, and you're just about to squeeze to the end into like an opening in the cave, as it were. Like it starts to widen out a little bit, and all of a sudden, like a large part of the wall just suddenly slams down in front of you, and all of you now can hear like boom, and like a rush of air emanating from the fissure which Ronan had just ducked into.
I guess I slam up against his arse.
Yeah,
face first
he
because-
stops, and you're sort of right behind him now. You're both sort of crammed into this, what is it, like a couple of feet wide sort of fissure, which runs parallel along the cave before it sort of bends off towards the left. And you were about to, Ronan, enter into this sort of wider cavern when all of a sudden this stone, like a large stone slab, just fell down in front of you.
The whole way is like blocked off now.
It appears to be, but that's not to say that you couldn't potentially move this stone out of your way.
But yeah, I'll try that if I can like shove it off. I'll try and move it.
What's Count Goldream doing while all this is happening?
I was thinking.
Okay.
Sorry, I need you to talk up a little bit so we're not catching
Yeah.
you.
So who followed? What's his name? Roald.
So Ronan followed him in, and our good friend Butterfinger sort of chased on after him, after Ronan.
Do I know if they have dark vision?
You would know that that Butterfinger definitely has. You guys have worked together for long enough now to probably
cool.
have that information.
I'm going to temporarily remove the cantrip light from my shield.
Okay. People are panicking. They're looking towards you and Thistle now as the only two people left in this cave.
Okay, so Thistle is like, everybody, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna take deep meditative breaths in and out. And I guess everyone around her can tell that this is not for them, it's for her. You know, she's a prissy princess. She grew up in the lap of luxury. She's never seen anything like this before, and you know, her shaman always told her like, you need to keep calm in situations like this because it can cause wrinkles. So she's just like, really, you know, it's fine, it's gonna be fine, and then she turns around and she sees the monsters and she's like,
Another scream.
I'm going to move this.
not gonna be fine.
All right, we're about to enter combat here, but we still have a little bit of time left. These creatures just burst through the tree line. Ronan, are you going to try and move that that stone out of your way?
Can I assist him?
I'd say actually, because you're small, yes, you can crawl up beside him and you can give him an assist if you want to do that. So I'm going to need a athletics check.
While they're doing that, did you say you turned off the lights? Adrian?
Temporarily. Stop.
All right.
I was just wondering if it's dark now and if how Thistle's doing with that.
That's a good question.
I just really want to get that
should,
All right.
phobia.
I would say if
Look,
there was ever going to be
I
a
mean, in
time
fairness,
when phobia was gonna kick in, it'd be in the dead of night. Someone just had
Yeah.
their face ripped off, and there's demons festering in this in this forest and like bearing down on you guys. So let's read that madness. Madness saving throw. What's the saving throw for madness? Is that a wisdom saving throw?
Oh well, no. If you quickly go up, I made the custom phobia thing, the chart,
Okay.
for everyone to use. If you go to your Discord messages, that's where it should be saved. But it'll be from my account, not this one. So it'll be from I think it's under Pantera.
Would Goldie even know if she had this phobia anyway? Was there for roleplay?
No. Yeah.
nah, man,
This would
I
be
wouldn't
like
have
a
said
personal
anything.
thing for her.
There we go. All right. Roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please. Thistle.
Yeah, at least you gave me something I'm good at. Oh yeah, she ain't moving nothing. That is 7.
7.
Lovely.
Yeah, she ain't moving that moonbeam. Have fun with that, Goldream.
All right. With a 7, I'm gonna need you to roll a d6 for me.
Sure.
While she does that, so Corrupted Tech, now that I know is Wyatt, nice to see you here. The phobia system is just a retweaked version of the Euphoria breath from Fairy Dragons, similar to what I used with the Mothmen, where the characters have to do a particular thing. All of the characters here, Goldream, Ronan, Thistle, Butterfinger, all have a certain phobia that they've told Sven and myself. And when that thing's happen, they need to make a roll, otherwise their character has repercussions. Just to add a bit of extra
1.
flavor. Oh, 1! There we go, Sven. What happens?
So, with a 1, the target takes their turn but moves away from the source. So, moving away from the source of darkness is going to be difficult. I would say you would be compelled to move away. This
From the cave.
This is difficult to rule here.
I guess
I would say the only, even though it's not proper light, the only actual source of light is outside the cave where there's dim moonlight.
You know what? I would say I would rule this as a
into
DM.
moonbeam.
I would say if it's complete darkness all over the place, right? What's the only way you can move away from darkness is to create light. You will have to spend your turn lighting a torch.
Fair.
That's fair.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make
That
sense?
sounds fair. Yep.
'Cause
Or,
it wouldn't make sense. Like, I'm scared of the dark. I'm standing in a dark room. I wouldn't try and run away from the darkness and just like
Well, I
stand.
was gonna say, can I move the moonbeam? Would that count? Because it is dim light. Like, I mean, it's spotlight, technically. Oh, yeah, on top of it. That's a great idea. No, I was just thinking right in front of me.
So, what sort of area does it shed dim light in?
Let me look. I think it was only like that 4 cube sort of radius.
All right.
So,
Yeah, it's only 5
So I'll give you the options. You can either move the moonbeam on top of yourself, in which case you will be in dim light, or you can try and find a different source of light.
The quickest source of light.
I mean, I don't think it would hurt me. I don't think it would hurt me. It's my own moonbeam.
Guys, we are getting lots of moonbeams in here.
Oh.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, the temptation. Okay, I mean, she's not well, so I feel like the most chaotic thing to do is move the moonbeam on top of myself.
Not only, you can make that saving throw, I'd say, with advantage. Just because it's your own moonbeam, you know it's coming. I will give you a point of inspiration for moving it on yourself, by the way.
Yeah.
As a DM, I will always award players who want to damage themselves with their own spells.
I think it's good. Good little role play. Panicking.
Yeah, no, that's really what it's about. It is good roleplay, but I also like.
Baldream suddenly wants the spiritual weapon himself out of nowhere, not metagaming. He would like to get inspiration.
Yeah, so when he hit something with a quarterstaff earlier, he was just hitting himself, trying to get some inspiration.
Yeah.
All right.
what was that?
Sorry, D&D and Beyond is trying to sell me something. Floating.
They gotta make that money somehow. That's it.
While she's loading
Good
everything,
plug.
guys, talking about selling.
So what am I
Which one you
rolling? Just like a
Constitution save. I think it's your own moonbeam. But yeah, everyone check out Cryptomus and Sven's Facebook. If you have Twitch Prime to this channel, that would be lovely for him.
Yeah, look, if you want to help us out, if you want to support us, best way to do that is give us a follow on Twitch. Second thing, give us a follow on Facebook. Third thing, YouTube, Spotify, check all that shit out. And we also have a Ko-Fi account. I can drop that in the chat a little bit later, where you can donate money. Please donate money, because any money that you donate to me is going to go straight back into the stream, making more awesome content like this with awesome people like these who are such good sports they're willing to damage themselves with their own spells. So if you want to see more of that, donate.
always.
All right, so you move the moonbeam onto yourself.
And I got a 10, so I failed.
Yeah, that's a fail. So how much damage are you going to
10.
take?
Might kill you.
Let's have a look.
So 18 hit points. If you could please roll.
10.
No.
10 damage.
Fatal.
10 points of
Yeah,
damage.
me too. I'm kidding. It's alright. I still got wild shapes left. It's not a loss. It's I'll take it. Do it for the vine.
Alright, so Count Goldrim, you see this just column of pale moonlight just suddenly shift through the cave, outside, like just to the mouth of the cave. And Thistle, do you react to this damage that you're taking? Is there any type of reaction? Are you, I'm burning myself. Type.
The way she
I
moves it
mean-
on top of it, I think it's more so like a
I guess it was
chaotic oath,
unexpected.
scream, and laughter.
Yeah.
Alright.
But also, yeah,
I think
Ooh,
is it
yeah.
just me, or is she turning into Megatron?
Yeah, she is transforming.
OT on Dairy Simulator, where she's gonna laugh at
It's-
the fear. It's like,
I was just about
Yeah,
to say.
she can't talk through moonbeam.
The moonbeam is hitting her so hard that
Just distorting. Yeah, so just so you know, Grace, your voice just distorted and you sounded a bit like Optimus Prime for a little bit there. It's a really great roleplay. Take another point of inspiration for that. Oh, it's still happening.
well,
Maybe it should be
thank you. I mean, all in a day's work.
Yeah, you may need to see if you can reset or something like that. What
whose
do we
turns
have?
next though?
So we're just gonna go back to the top of the rounds. Ronan, you're up.
What was that athletics? Didn't we have an athletics roll beforehand with Ronan?
Yeah, I didn't
yes,
do one
we
yet.
did. Oh, didn't you do one? No. All
I
right.
didn't yet. Is there any way I can pinch you to not do athletics but but acrobatics?
Tell me how you flip around and use acrobatics to move a really heavy rock out of the way. And we'll see what we
Could
can
like
do.
a sweet like commando roll onto my back and use my feet to like kind of do like a kip up push with my feet.
That's still using your strength.
Yeah, I plus 0 to strength, so I don't want to do it.
You
you
will
were
get
plus 0, I got
advantage.
-1.
Your best friend in the whole wide world is aiding you with this check.
Got advantage.
So yeah, you get advantage with that check.
It's still plus 0, so just whatever I roll. So it'd be a 15.
15. Unfortunately, you spend a little bit of time in the darkness trying to find purchase on this rock, but it's so well mated to the opposing surface of the cave mouth. You're kind of finding it difficult to get your fingers in there to be able to get a grip on this rock.
I'm gonna then just stand up and like punch the rock and just yell out "coward" to the rock. Hopefully he hears it, and then I'm gonna just turn around and start walking towards the shoreline and drawing my bow and getting ready.
Butterfinger takes it personally. He thinks he's talking to.
All right, let's go into the combat order now. So that was your turn, Ronan. We go number 4. So the yellow one is going to just start making its way towards them. Christian, I'm assuming.
I'd say, knowing their sheets, all of them are slowly just going to meander, not even like in a straight line, even though that's bad for their movements. Just knowing these creatures and their stats, they're going to just slowly meander lefts and rights, swaying, similar to a walking dead horde as they make their way towards the cave.
All right.
So you're welcome to just move them forward in their amount of spaces, but for the characters, that's what you notice in a very uncoordinated horde of screeches, those inburst screams, moans. You see them all slowly approaching, and then when they start to reach the water, they even with on top of the water, all of you notice that these creatures are very not placid, slow paced, I would say. They're very engorged and making their way as much as possible. Even with a dash, that's as far as they can get.
Yes, you can definitely tell they're quite small and they're struggling a little bit with the bank of the river, and the river itself is going to give them a little bit of trouble. So you've got a little bit of time before they reach you, but you're definitely in a dire situation. Because you can tell by the sounds of the howls and the hoots coming from the forest that there's more coming, and you're backed into a desperate situation here. It's the civilians' turn. They see you guys. They hear you actually call cowards, Ronan, and come out, and they're like, what's going on? And they see you exit from this sort of narrow cave, and they're going to have a look inside there, and it's like some of the people start to peel up and they're looking down the cave, and the other ones are looking across the river. And then it is one of these creatures' turn. He's going to step to the edge of the river there. Then it is Gordanthu Silverscar's turn. Gordanthu, Christian, what does she do?
I would say Gordanthu, being a dwarfs having dark vision, so seeing kind of what's going with the people running in and out of that small little gap in the cave, overly loudly, is there a way through there? Someone shouted, "Where's Roald? Has he gone through there?" And she's going to start making her way towards the entrance, trying to nosily investigate, as well as being worried about like what the hell's happening and what's the plan. And bring attention for everyone now as she starts trying to, I would say, scared civilians probably even following suit, and this more so extroverted dwarf, there's going to be somewhat of maybe even a awkward stampede of people running towards this area now. Which is going to become very difficult to actually get past all the moving bodies, but she's going to make her way there, calling attention to it.
Alright, another one of these things are just shambling their way towards you guys at this point. Makes it to there. Butterfinger, you're up.
The stone went down in a downward motion. Probably won't know that anyways. Is it possible to cast Mage Hand to sort of try to gain purchase me in lifting it up? Granted that it is two actions essentially.
Should we allow it, or should we? It's a good question. You know what?
It's an inventive way.
Yeah, I'd say yes, because I like to reward people's creativeness. I'm just going to say yes. You can cast Mage Hands, and it can assist you with trying to lift the rock. You get advantage with trying to lift it, but that will be your entire turn.
No, that makes sense. Okay. Strength check.
Athletics rather.
Athletics. Okay, still the same. This is 12, so I don't think it's good.
It's not quite enough, unfortunately.
I don't know if many of us have strength in this party, actually, to be honest. This is going to be interesting turn of events.
Alright. Similar sort of situation, even with this spectral glowing hands trying to help you. The rock does shift slightly, not much. But you can tell it is possible to move this thing. It's not locked in position. You can move it, but it is quite heavy and it is quite difficult. So, another creature's turn. Which one are you? Where are you? There you are.
Just in between this creature's turn, a little bit of narrative for Ronan here for a second. Also, just to quickly interlude to answer one of the other viewers' questions, Wyatt, we have a ranger kobold Butterfinger We have a druid wood elf Thistle, a monk human Ronan, and a cleric human Count Goldrum. But Ronan, as the creatures are all starting to shamble through, I would say maybe 100 to 200 meters, probably more so like maybe 150, still within eyesight. You've got dark vision, but not. I'll explain in a second. But you see a vibrant kind of like flash and rainbow of many different lights shine out, almost very like UFO alien style. You see a fluorescent green, a fluorescent yellow, a fluorescent red, as this almost explosion of color happens in the forest. 100 meters, is roughly around 300 feet, so it's still a long way combat-wise. It's whatever that created that, but you see, when you see that flash, there is more howls and roars and screams and hoots from many different types of creatures now, as it seems like the demon horde has finally caught up, and whatever created that rainbow color effect definitely doesn't seem to be good news.
Yeah, I was. The funny thing is, I was going to describe that in almost exactly the same way, like a UFO. I'm going to go with another a throwback to another old school movie no one's probably ever heard of. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Anyone?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened in my mind.
And
I love that we're calling the exact same thing.
With that light sort of, it's shining through the boughs of the trees and moving around. You can see just these dark silhouettes silhouetted against this bright light, just moving left to right. Just you can't even count how many things could be in the tree line. All right, it is Niels Chedesk turn.
I'm gonna say Niels is gonna follow suit. Nervous. He's gonna step towards the cave entrance and stand beside Goldring. It's still trying to feel in the darks. It's dark at the moment, and eventually makes his way and rests his hand on your shoulder, Goldring. This is the rather more, I would say, robust singer of the village. The guy that was in his undergarments and had the staff with him last session. If I may inquire, Master, referring to you just because of your age compared to him, is there any way for what is the plan? I cannot see at the moment. I'm not sure where we're meant to be going. The light has disappeared, and I won't say that I'm close to soiling myself. What are we doing?
I'd say we need to get into the cave. Can you assist me to lift the stone?
There's a stone. Oh well, I know that some of our travelers brought gears with them from the village. We have things like farming equipment to use to defend ourselves, and I think there might even be a crowbar there.
But if you gather that assistance, we'll defend. You guys get that open.
Okay, I'll rush over, and he spends the rest of his turn trying to feel through the dark. Unsuccessful on this turn, but trying to look for said crowbar for them.
Okay.
Alrighty. Who is up next? Next we have Kairik Antisar.
Kairik is, with dark vision, actually going to come up to the rest of the party. He's now also on the point where he is freaking out. I know it's weird for an NPC to do this, but just because I've got your detailed stories for all of these colorful characters that you've made, Sven, can you make Kairik do a phobia check?
Yes, I can.
Ooh.
He needs to make a wisdom saving throw, I believe.
Sven's characters that he's made for all you people watching are very detailed with his homebrew story. And this one here, Kairik, has... I won't get into it because the characters might find out later. It might impact the story, but he is currently hyperventilating.
That's a fail. So he needs to roll a d6 now. Okay, Candace seems to be reacting poorly to the situation. Oh wait, that's a D20. D6. I know what a D6 is. I know D&D, goddammit. So at
Slightly better.
3. At 3.
What's his character?
The target takes no action or bonus action, uses all of its movement to move in a random direction. Yay! Random direction! Who wants to roll a
Can you
D4?
I was gonna say yeah.
Who wants to roll it for me?
Oh,
Okay.
Lovely, lovely.
Gold Dream.
I'll
Roll
do
a D4.
one as the one is up. 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be left. So running through all the screaming crowd.
Alright, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. So he just...
So he just
he
he creates more chaos as he pushes past all of these screaming people who can't see in the dark, being humans, and he starts to push them down onto their knees, falling, stumbling, and it's just utter chaos.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. He says, "Oh no, he can see in the dark. He should be fine. It'll be fine." Otherwise, I was gonna roll.
I'm saying he can see, but he's
Yeah.
pushing over other people.
Yeah, I was
which
gonna
is
say I'm
really
gonna
random.
get him to roll a dex save to see if he falls over as well or runs into the wall. But nah, it's fine. Yep.
Yeah, pandemonium being caused at the moment within all these civilians. Who's up?
Another one of my creatures just moves up to there. Now, Thistle. Thistle, you just almost killed yourself.
Okay. I've been waiting for this.
But yeah,
What do you got? What do you got for me?
Okay, so Thistle sort of begrudgingly, she's like, I hoped it wouldn't have come to this, but I have no choice. And out of the back of her pants, she pulls fluffy rabbit gloves. And these gloves are very special. So essentially, they give me an AC of 13 and a dex of 30 and a speed of 60 feet. So I am untouchable and impenetrable, essentially. I'll send it to the log, but Mickey Mouse gloves, but fluffy. And she just sort
Sven,
Mom?
just to interlude here, I'll let you know whether or not you want to just give her the fun and she can have this as her turn. Moonbeam is when a creature moves inside it for the first time, and when it starts their turn. So
Oh, yeah.
you actually need to, unless we're happy to just pass it by for the pure of the narrative.
And
There isn't
also,
Narrative?
it's supposed to
Narrative?
it's supposed to stop people from shape changing as well. If they fail, they can't shape change.
All
I
right.
have 2 inspiration, if that makes it any better.
Oh, this is a tough call. What kind of DM do I want to be tonight?
Well,
I have
leave it up to you.
two
She,
inspo.
right, she
I
did.
have
She did
two
just say
inspo.
she could use her inspiration to sweeten the deal with you for this. But I'll leave it up to you what you would like to do narrative-wise.
I mean, rules is written. I mean, you got to make that saving throw. Use your inspiration on that saving throw to get advantage. Take a step
Sure.
out, and then you can definitely, if you survive, you can definitely shape change.
Sounds
the-
it's almost as if I cast the light and then she had the phone and that's her turn. Did I disturb my
No, you're
'Cause
coming
it
up.
seems- But then how would it have played out that I removed the light and it was her turn? It's her turn again before I can turn the light back on.
No. Well, I mean, I'd have to go back and watch it. I'm not entirely sure what's happened, but
I think that happened before we got into initiative order.
No.
Yeah.
it's,
that's right.
I
I was
think so.
playing a little bit fast and loose with the initiative order to begin with. So you are so next is going to be someone else's turn, and then it'll be your turn. So yeah, is that what you want to do, Grace?
yes, I will roll with advantage.
Okay. Oh, God.
20!
You pass.
Hey,
Hot
So
diggity.
now I need you to roll 2d10 and take
Okay.
half.
oh,
I
come
can
on,
do that.
14. Come on, 14.
Oh no.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, no.
stop this! I quit!
I'm
You
so-
can't. You're gonna
Bye,
die.
y'all.
The
Bye.
dice tell the story.
This is, stop this!
Nice.
I just need to get to wear my rabbit gloves. I've still got another inspiration. Come on. You can't kill the fan favorite.
The
What
good
are we
news.
doing here?
The good news is you're not dead. You're unconscious.
Still unconscious.
And dying.
And the healer is like against a wall. So
The
this is great.
the other good
Also-
news is as you fall unconscious, moonbeam now dissipates, so you're not gonna kill yourself while you're still unconscious with your spell.
Yeah.
And also you have a friend nearby who can pick up your form and get away with you. Not that I want to play your characters for you.
Yes, that is so true.
Yeah. How's that moonbeam looking, huh?
Oh,
Moonbeam looking, huh,
look it,
Thistle?
yeah, look. You know what? You know what?
I'm sorry, that's the kind of DM that I am. You're gonna have to get used to it, guys.
Ben's playing the rules, and I'm just super happy that I'm getting payback for my Beulah's out.
Alright, next up is someone else's turn, and then it is Count Goldream's turn. You can you see this happen. I'm assuming you're gonna get your lights back again.
Yeah, because it's complete disarray, so I have to use my action to turn the light back on. So, the shield lights up. As a bonus action, I'm going to move the spiritual weapon and try and attack one of the guys, probably the most closest one. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. You can attack that.
Let me roll.
I love that you legitimately in your life do the Cartman. Yeah. I just I vibe with that.
And that's not a new thing either. He's been doing that for freaking 20 years now. Rid of that. 21, yeah, that's a hit.
5 whole damages, please.
What kind of damage is that?
1d8 plus 4. Oh, so,
Radiant. Spiritual weapon.
Yeah, I think it's radiant from the holy weapon.
I'll just send
Yeah, I'm just stalling while I check something. Okay, so it was 5 points of damage. Alright. Good. That hits this creature.
Oh, it's not really different because I checked these creatures and they don't have a vulnerability to it, but it's force damage actually. So it's like being slashed by like a lightsaber, I guess. But yeah, force damage.
Force damage. Yeah, Luke Skywalker suddenly appears and casts Force Push. Alright. Anything else you want to do on your turn? I believe that's
the
action.
extension of my turn. Yeah, I've got this my action bonus action, so.
The bonus action done.
I
Alright.
like.
It's my creature's turn. He's going to move to you need to get to there, around about. Next
There's
one.
one more thing.
Was there one more thing that you wanted to do? I
I
will
was
still
going to say, could
allow.
I have also moved in that turn?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm probably going to protect. Can I fit there?
Yes. I'll allow it, just this once. Don't try that shit again. Alright, it's
Could I,
creature's
just
turn.
to be
Yes.
a pain here, because I'm technically the monsters, would he have to do, or could he do a contested strength check against the rampaging crowd?
I'm not enough to walk around. 9 action points.
Yeah, what, 5, 10, 15, 20, yeah, you should move around.
Okay.
I'll allow him to move around. I've already been enough of a horrible
I'm just
person.
checking.
Noise.
Alright. It's
I'll never forgive you.
Oh, you still got another really long campaign coming up, so about to there. Top of round 2, Ronan. You've waited long enough. What have you got?
I'm gonna just sort of look at the crowd, and then look at the horde, and then I'm gonna just lock eyes with Gold Dream, and I'm gonna say to him, either get that door open or get to high ground, and I'm gonna throw my bow on the ground to go through my bag and spark up a torch, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to Step of the Wind and just scream as loud as I can and run this way. So I can move 80 feet, but this is double distance, so yeah, just throwing a bow on the ground, going through my pack, striking up a torch to light as my action, and then bonus action doing Step of the Wind, and then just screaming as loud as I can and running this way, down past the wall, and just waving my torch around and trying to get as much attention as I can and just running this way.
Do we want to do another old school movie throwback?
Yep.
Jurassic Park, anyone?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly the thing in my head. Yep.
So all we have to do is stay incredibly still, and they will not notice. Guys, we won.
When I talked to that guy before, did he sort of? There's no reason to try and get all the big players to open the door. Is everyone else? Did anyone not panic and think, oh, we better get the door open as opposed to just panic in general?
Generally speaking, it's panic. I believe Gordon through Silver Scar seems to sort of have a head still about Niels, sort of is still there a little bit. It's mostly Kayrik Antasar and the big group of commoners that are sort of panicking at this point.
Also, just because it was a very cool use of his turn there with Ronan, did you want to get him to do, I guess I'll leave it up to you, Sven, but
Yeah.
the way that I kind of see it is either a intimidation, persuasion, or performance check, one of those 3, to convince these creatures to chase him, but because of the inventiveness of what he did, maybe just give it advantage.
Yeah, that's I'm quite happy to do that. That sounds like a pretty fun thing to do. So you pick, Toby. Which one of those things you want to do? Intimidation, performance, or persuasion? I'll let you choose.
I mean, charisma being my dump stat, all of them are -1, so let's go
How would you roleplay a
performance. Let's go performance. I'm trying to get I'm trying to cause as much of a scene as I can and get all eyes on me. Let's go perforance.
You're doing a little bit of an interpretive dance as you're going out there.
Yeah, I'm just swinging it wildly, just trying to get everyone's eyes on me.
Let's do it as a let's do it like a death save. So as long as you get above a 10, do your advantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You seem to have caught their attention. Your torchlight reflecting from the water as you splash through it as fast as you can. All right. One of my creatures' turn. I'm going to hand it over to you, Christian. It is number 4's turn, which is the yellow one.
5, 10, 20. It's going to dash, but that's its action. As it moves as quick as it can with its slow form, it does manage to get within 5 feet of you. So if you try to run away from it, trying to shepherd these creatures, it will get an attack opportunity, but it doesn't get a chance to attack you. It sees you and some sort of just beast chasing food, it just starts going as quick as it can, trying to get up to you, but doesn't actually have anything left to leap and attack. As you finally now get face to face with this creature. Sven, did you want to put the picture in the chat?
Yes, I certainly do. And I'll tell you what, even more than that, I will say, for your performance, for your selfless act, give yourself a point of inspiration as well. That's what you see.
Yeah, in the chat, that is the creature, this large mess. Different ones have their faces in different spots. Some limbs, like I said, were reattaching, unattaching. This creature, this picture that D&D Beyond has presented makes it look a lot cleaner cut, but different versions of them are kind of like different piles of mud. They're not all the same like this. And this one kind of approaches you with like a single arm where its head should be. Its head is like down in its torso, and then the other arm is kind of coming out of its waist, and it's like leaping towards you. And that is that creature's turn.
Yes, fantastic. Alright, it is the group's turn. They're just gonna keep panicking. So we go on to number 8's turn. Blue, light blue.
Light blue. Okay. Ooh, this one can. Okay, time to start wailing. A 16 to hit.
And the hits.
And 5 slashing.
Yep.
As one of its mutty paws makes purchase as it tries to rip into you. And that is its turn before.
Yeah, sorry, it's just having a quick look at the chat. Bad DM. Alright. Go down through Silver Scar. That's you, Christian. Go down through Silver Scar. What did you want to do?
Oh, goddamn! So many names. Sorry, I was also doing other stuff. Goddamn through. So this was the dwarf. So she sees, Niels running over. I would say beside, Count Gold. Probably heard that conversation, and is going to run over, and with her dark vision, unlike Niels, runs over and just kind of pushes Niels a bit to the side. Obviously, everyone can see now with the lights anyway, but she heads towards him. Free action, picks up the pickaxe. Get out of the way, fool! Oh, you're always so old. Come on, we need to get out of here now. This Shiza is getting just... Leave! And she picks it up and she's going to use her action to dash. So she's going to run towards where Goldstream... where... What's his name was, which I can't... Oh, his mini hadn't been moved yet. So Niels' mini hadn't been moved yet, but Niels would have been going over to like here. She would have come over to him, so both of them heading off to the left there.
Yep.
And then she would have used her action to dash and started heading into the cave. With her hands out there, holding the crowbar towards our MVP of the night, who can hopefully move the boulder with his small little frame. Butterfinger. And that is her turn.
I like that. I like that little bit of dialogue. Get out of the way. You're all so old. Main number. Where are you? That one. Main number. It just says main. The one with the black circle.
Okay.
It does have one square of difficult terrain to get through there.
15 feet though gets it there, and it's gonna attack. That is a hit. 3 points of slashing damage as it comes behind Ronan, trudging out of the water. You see water, Ronan, kind of dripping out of its skin from holes that it didn't originally even come into. Like there's like sockets where underneath the outer layer of like skin, under the skin where the flesh is, there's like gaps between the skin and the flesh, and it's like flapping in the wind, the night's wind. The dirty water running out with little bits of like body tissue and meat, and as you turn around, it slashes behind at your the back of your thigh and rips away at a little bit of the hide armor that you're wearing, and that is its turn.
How much damage did it do? Sorry, did I miss that?
3.
3. Okay, 3 points of damage. Butterfinger, you're up. Still, save us all.
Yeah.
Dancero's sitting there holding a crowbar in her hand. You're both about equal height, you and her.
Question. If I do an athletics check again and do pretty much the same BS, which did on the first one. Is it possible that I could make a fist and I could crawl underneath if there's enough leverage? If that makes sense.
Oh, with the mage hand.
Yeah.
I don't think a mage hand can lift up that.
No, a mage hand is not going to have enough. It can lift, what, 5 pounds or something like that? It's not going to be able to lift it from.
I understand it can only lift 10 pounds, but that's not. I'm using that to assist to get underneath and make just enough room for me to crawl.
I would say you can make another athletics check and have advantage with that athletics check. It's the best I can do for you, my man.
Yeah, I probably made it overcomplicated, but.
I love flavour.
Athletics.
Got a little space.
Oh, there we go. 15. 15 then.
15. Let's give me 1 second with a 15. Yes, I would say
Yes!
with the assistance of your mage hand, you managed to move the rock up, or slightly to the side, just enough for you to be able to squeeze through because you're a small creature. But it's not quite enough for the others to make it through, unfortunately. It's
Oh, I don't need to care about them. Anyway,
it's quite a high check.
nah.
But you've definitely you're able to make it through, and now that you've moved it somewhat, if someone wants to move it more, they're going to have an easier time of it. The DC's now gone down a little bit, but there's just enough room for you to be able to squeeze through it.
Okay. I'm like trying to get through.
Anything else you wanted to do? No.
That's action movement. That's all I can really do.
All right, number 6's turn, the red one.
Okay. Wait, which one's the red one? I don't have a... Oh, the
Oh,
brown
right
one
one.
on the far right?
Far right, yeah. Okay, my colorblind.
5,
That's
10,
it, that's
15,
red.
20. 5, 10. Okay, that's as far as it can get. It starts kind of rushing over with that same awkward, like, lunging lump. Like body's not moving the way they're meant to move, and tries to just make its way over to start mauling on you with the rest of its kind.
It's got an arm where its
that
legs should
same-
be.
That same flashing light is now getting closer to the point where it's probably maybe like 50 meters off, maybe like 150 feet off, and you can start to heal a bit of like with your passive perception, picking up a bit of like a snarling boar yell, almost coming from the source of that light. It's louder than all the other screams, and you see that this kind of so it's not just like a weird floating rainbow, it's exploding in rainbows of light and then utter darkness, then exploding in a rainbow of light, and this is happening every so often. But you see that explosion and this figure is flying in the sky. It's not coming along the ground. It's kind of in between, wisping through the trees. But that is that creature's turn. That is what you see. Stuff is getting real.
Niels Chedesk is now up. Yep, let's just say Niels and Kayrik are just gonna stay there for the time being. It is
Wasn't there a healer among them?
main number
Yeah, I was
7.
gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah,
can the
Kayrik.
healer come and heal me, please?
Oh, right,
Please?
fine. He's gonna
Yeah.
make his way over towards you.
Thank you.
Yes, he makes it. He makes it over to you, and he. Yes, sorry, you were gonna say.
Should Kayrik, just because it seems a bit odd for him to instantly go from phobia panic attack to, oh, I need to heal that person, could he do one more save?
All right, we can make one more save.
Steve, what's the phobia if not
You're hurting me, man. You're
19.
hurting me.
He made it. He made it. He made it, everyone.
Okay.
So yeah, and he will make a medicine check. Oh, not plus that much. That's not what it's supposed to be. And he makes it. So you are stable, but still unconscious.
Oh,
While
Yes.
the next turn, just quickly answering in the chat here, Reckless. So I'm just a guest here. Sven is the head of Crit and Miss. I'm just guest appearing with some networking and advertisement between our two different groups. He's a lovely guy and runs this main channel himself. So yeah, I'll be killing all the party members. Who's up next?
Yeah, so the great thing about that situation is when someone does die and gets very upset, I can blame someone else. I would highly recommend having a co-DM, guys. You can just shift all the blame to them, and when everyone hates them, they can just leave and you can just get another co-DM. What do we have happening? It's Thistle's turn, but she is unconscious. I think she needs to roll a d4 to find out how long she's unconscious for. 1 hour. I already rolled it for you. 1 hour. Is that okay, or do you want to roll it?
No. I mean, I'm trash. You roll it. You please.
That's the lowest one you get.
Yeah. So 1 hour.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Now.
Oh, can I use my inspiration? Like, I mean, I know there's nothing better than a 1, but like, you know, would it just claw me out of unconsciousness for the next turn?
Didn't
Maybe?
you use your inspiration when you made your saving throw?
I have 2. You said I could have a second one for the Metatron voice that was completely unintentional.
You dug this hole yourself, Sven.
I
You
keep
dug this hole
off.
yourself.
Look at
So-
that, dude.
You can't actually have 2 inspirations. It's not possible
Yeah.
with D&D Beyond. Or
What the hell?
D&D
It's a
itself.
one shot. I did say it. I
That's
said
why
it.
I'm saying Ben dug his own hole.
Alright, I will allow you to use your inspiration to come back with 1 hit point of life.
I will take that. I will take that all day.
All right.
Okay. Do I get? But you know what? Thank you. I appreciate.
You have 1 hit point.
Yes.
You have 1 hit
Yes.
point, but that is your turn. Are you happy with that?
I am so happy with that. This is a
Alright.
good result.
Don't say I never give you
Saves me
anything.
you cure wounds on them.
You are up next, so you can just use Cure Wounds on yourself. Not that you hurt, but it could just be a bit of fun.
Or me. Just a suggestion.
Wait, is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
We do need to get that thing open. She is stabilized. It's just no offense, your 2 legs at stage. We need to. Although, hang on. I know she's afraid of the light. Can I move? Actually, while we're there, first and bonus action, I'm going to attack that thing next to my. I use the spiritual weapon to attack the thing next to my spiritual weapon. Before I forget.
Yeah, that's bonus action. You can do that.
Damn, does 10 hit?
I can
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. Look at that. They're not wearing plate mail armor, these suckers.
8 damages, please.
8 points of damage is enough to kill this creature.
Oh yes, 1 down.
1
Eight.
So,
down. Only 8 to go, I think. Oh, no, 7.
so I'm gonna, yeah, we have to get, although actually they are helping. Oh damn it, I just, the choices. I will do cast cure wounds.
Lovely. So is that Cure Wounds is a D4?
D8.
Plus
Yeah.
4, so 10 healing.
Lovely.
you.
Thistle finally getting a good amount of hit points.
They're pretty keen, so hopefully they'll take care of themselves. We don't want to retreat everyone in case we need to help get out something.
Okie dokie then. Want to move?
Yeah, I'll move closer to. There, so they stay in the light still. Yep.
All right. It is at this point where I'm gonna have to bring the action to a pause for a moment, because I'm a really bad DM and I miscalculated exactly how long things were going to take. It is 11:41. I did mention to all of you guys that we'll probably be pulling up at around about this point in time. I do want to finish what's happening here before we finish up. So is everyone happy to just go a little bit longer?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Always.
Yep, we're cool with that,
Absolutely.
Christian. Yep,
Just
I know you're
Easy.
pretty busy. But then we have to talk about: is there going to be a part 3?
I think we have to.
Yeah,
I don't see why not.
yeah. This is going
As
to be
long
a
as you're all keen,
3-parter.
I know what Sven has planned for the next part of this, and it concludes a lot of things like where Roald is, what's happened with him. There's some more stuff that happens in a little bit of the cave as you're all escaping. It is it's definitely cool.
All
So
right.
I would like
Yep.
to see that personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to be a 3-parter, guys. This is Star Wars before the prequels. We just finished Empire Strikes Back, and we are going to watch. We're not going to watch it. We're going to direct Return of the Jedi. When are we going to be dropping that one? When is everyone free? Can we lock in a date?
Yeah.
Or
I'll have to
should we
check
talk about
my,
that first?
Might have to talk about that and then release it on the Facebook, which means you have to head over there and like it to see when it's happening.
That's right, guys. If you don't want to miss out on something that is at least as good as Return of the Jedi, then you're going to have to head over to the Facebook page and give us a follow there, because that's where I drop all the news. So if you want to keep up to date with what's going on at Crit and Miss, and we have a lot going on, trust me, then you need to give us a like and a follow and whatever it is that you kids do on Facebook right away. But man, that is awesome. Can't wait for that. But why don't we just go a little bit long tonight? We're going long, and let's finish this encounter. I want to see who dies.
One life equals one moonbeam.
That's another moonbeam, guys. I'm starting to think, Christian, you're probably going to be the closest with the 69.
Maybe.
All right,
Told ya.
it
Read the
is
future.
main number 2's turn, the orange one who's in the water over there.
I'm gonna say 5, 10, 15.
Were you going to say
20.
Toby roll up a backup character?
No.
Do they get
Maybe.
difficult terrain just in the water?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
Do you want the
Okay,
moonbeam
so-
now, Toby? Toby, do you want the moonbeam now?
No, kill me.
So, yeah.
So,
It'll be a heroic death, though. You'll definitely get inspiration for that.
In your death.
Desperation.
I was thinking just to kind of onset some fear and get the general idea of what's happening with everyone. As a bit of impending doom, Sven, did you want to say that at the top of, let's say, like 1 or 2 rounds' time, the exploding fluorescent-colored source, the source of that will appear?
Yes. I was tracking the
Yeah.
distance. So yeah, I'm going to say at the top of round 4. It could be a friend of yours. You guys don't know. This guy could be coming to help you guys out. Yeah. It could be a
Okay,
sparkly
lovely.
unicorn. But yeah, they're going to be joining you at the top of round 4, guys. So tip top.
What round are we on now?
Number 2, just coming to the tail end of round 2.
Okay, so Ronan, another one of these creatures surrounds you, so it's looking like to the point that even if you were to use even if you were to use one of your monkish ways to screw a DM up and run away with extra movements and dashes and disengages, you might be fully surrounded on all sides soon. So this distraction is either going to be you needing to get away or is going to be your sacrifice. But you also notice now closer that flashing rainbow exploding the louder sounds of this kind of bestial boar scream, and I would say probably to everything. Let's see its distance. In your mind, probably, it's just speaking to everything that can hear. Do you understand Abyssal?
Nope.
No? Okay, so same as like the Ulazao, you hear this Abyssal speaking in your mind at the moment, just saying this one same phrase, this same, whether it's a word or a sentence, this one phrase over and over. But unlike the Bulazao, which was kind of like trying to be a weird human cry, this is a deep, guttural voice and like tone of voice. This whatever this creature is that's speaking to yourself. You also notice at the same time that you start to pick up this, all of those creatures' heads all kind of like twitch towards the exploding rainbow light of these fleshy creatures. And that is that main's turn. What's up next?
Number blue. Number 3. And then the one that's dead. So it's main number 3's turn.
Okay, so this one's going to 5, 10, 15, and will get an attack as it joins the horde.
For those listening on Spotify, we now have Ronan on the other side of the river, and he is surrounded on the north and eastern side by 5 mains.
It only gets a 6 to hit though, so the first one finally missing. So that is its turn as it tries to again claw. Your body's kind of twisting, trying to fight from all these different angles, and this one tries to scratch as you parry off its long talons that are each the size of like a dagger. And you parry that attack.
So the next one is in fact main number 6, who is in the water towards the east. About as far away as he can be from Ronan.
It's to there with its dash as it starts trying to join the shambles and surround you, and that's its turn.
Now things start to get really interesting because Ronan, it's your turn. What are you going to do?
Right, I'm going to use my action to disengage.
Cast moonbeam? No. Oh.
Cast moonbeam on myself.
Push.
I'll use my action to disengage and just like waving the torch in front of this guy, just backing up. And then I'm going to drop the torch at my feet so it's still alight, and then slowly unsheath my sword and then just get into a defensive stance and use my last key point to do patient defense and just keep yelling.
Ooh. Okay.
Inspiration.
That's it.
Ah, you already got inspiration.
There I go, inspiration. That's my last key point, but I'm just sitting there, sword ready, and just yelling.
Butterfinger loses a point of inspiration for applying the DM for more inspiration.
Aha, negative inspiration.
More disadvantage. Disadvantage on disadvantage.
Alright, main number 4 as we move to the top of round 3. Yellow main.
Okay, it attacks with disadvantage due to your patient defense as you ready the sword to just start blocking blows. Oh my god. Does a 16 hit?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get
Just.
hit, but you dodge. So the claws, just to kind of roleplay this for you, the claws start coming in straight towards your throat. This attack looked like it would have been a game ender. Wink wink, nudge nudge, if you know what that means. And instead you just managed to kind of matrix the claws, but they do like dig down into your shoulder instead of into your throat. So you do still take the damage, but not as bad as it was going to be. And you take 5 slashing damage.
Yep.
And that is that main's turn, as this one was going for kill blow.
That's code for Nat 20.
Close. Alright, It is the civilians' turn, the commoners. They might have calmed down enough now to regain their senses. Christian, what do you want them to do?
I'd say with the light now, and hearing the overloud, I've got the names up here. Gordanthu, the overloud Gordanthu yelling at Niels. They're probably going to try to make their way to the gap, but a bit more civilized, single file. Luckily, everything's calmed them down from becoming a stampeding horde of people, which, if you know the world as it is today, that can actually be a dangerous thing. So they're going to start making their way into the small inlet of the cave. So once that rock is moved, I'd say, would you think with their movement, they could probably get in there and make their own sort of check to try to push it out of the way?
Yeah, I'd say that a couple of them will probably get in there and
Like they're not just going to stand by and wait for others to move the boulder. They're going to try to save themselves.
And,
so yeah, let's get a
I would say
commoner strength check.
if Butterfinger, if you want to use your next action to try and assist, they can get advantage.
Yep. No.
If you're happy to do that.
When we come to that turn, we'll have a look. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no. You know what? I'll sacrifice my action for that. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to commit to doing that, and I'll give them advantage. Does that sound fair?
Yeah. Safety in. Yes. No. Absolutely. Safety in numbers and more people to throw at more monsters.
Right.
Yeah.
Roll 2 of those. What did we end up with? Where did it all go? I don't know.
I hope they get 2 nat ones just so the Butterfingers wasted his turn.
I will say this. My mage hand is still up.
So I rolled 2d20 by accident, but they were both 18s. Yeah, no. With your assistance, Butterfinger, and the assistance of your spectral hands, they're able to now get in to the opening that you were able to create when you push the rock sort of up and out of the way, and they just everyone just sort of jams their back up against the rock wall, and they all heave as one, and the rock slides out of the way. And you actually notice, Butterfinger, that it seems to be purposefully crafted for this rock to be able to move back and forth. The mating surface of the cave wall seems to have an indentation where it's been moved back and forth probably multiple times in the past. And the people make their way into the cave, into the mouth of the cave, and I'll actually tell you what you can see now, now that you're in there. Butterfinger. Give me 1 moment. So you can see grey slate walls open up into a natural, irregular shaped cavern. Against the southern wall, there's a heavy round stone that you guys just managed to push out of the way, and you can actually see there's an iron bar, like a long iron bar, maybe 7 foot long, just like pretty long iron bar, like rusty, lying on the ground next to the stone. Yep, that's what you see in there. Whose turn is next, actually? Is it your turn? No, not yet.
No, it's that thing, yeah.
Yeah, so main number 8. Christian.
Alright. Just quickly getting some knocky down. Which one is number 8 again?
So the light blue main.
Light blue, lovely. 5, 10, 20. Oh, perfect. Moves there, attacks. Does have disadvantage though, as you're Bruce Leeing the attacks. 12 to hit, 12 misses. So it comes up, both claws slashing down, trying to push on you, and you block the blade, kind of like with your hand on the tip of the sword, holding it sideways, stopping both of the claws crashing down on you. And that's that one's turn. Also, just for flavor text, if we wanted to, with Butterfinger, I did notice that your mage hand isn't so much a spectral hand, as it is your swarm keeper magic. So it's actually more like you're controlling your bugs to create a bug hand.
I'd say probably as he's getting like crushed and stuff, jars are just exploding on his bandolier, and it's just like, yeah.
So it's a bug formed hand that's flying there, moving around, and you're using that to help push things. But yeah, that's that main's turn as it tries to slash into Ronan, who looks like it be going downhill. Who's up next?
All right, go down through. She's just gonna make her way. She'll call back to Neil's Chenis, let him know that the way is open now, and head into the cave as well.
Yeah, I'd say she'd shout that out so everyone would hear that. Let me just see these creatures. No, they don't understand. Okay, lovely. So, yeah, all the way to probably... actually, no, I'd say with the chaos of the mains attacking and your swords slashing against their talons, you probably don't hear Ronan. But everyone all the way to Thistle hears Gordan through shouting out in her dwarvish, "Way is clear now! We need to get out of here!" And you just hear that her kind of like voice fade running through.
All right. It is main's turn. Along the black circle.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20. Lovely. It's going to get to there. And disadvantage. That is a 10 to hit. You are lucky because that was another throat strike as well. So all of these attacks adding up the chances of getting a critical hit getting higher and higher, but with your patient defense, one coming towards you, managed to slam and it like digs into the dirt, ripping up a couple of bits of soil in its fist, and that is that main's turn.
Is he lucky though? Is he lucky or just damn good?
Pure talent.
Butterfinger, you are in that cave. It's theatre of the minded, so I don't have to keep switching scenes. What would you like to do?
So he's already used his action, and he's pretty much opened up the cave. He's just gonna scream at Count Goldring, and just like,
okay. All right.
Your scream was too high pitched and loud.
Yeah, we lost that. We lost the tail end of that one.
Go, we need to go.
All right. You can hear this echoing from this narrow corridor that runs parallel to the cave and then turns towards the left. And then it is Niels' turn. He's going to head that way, I'm assuming, Christian?
Can I respond
100%.
Sorry?
The turn, if that makes sense?
What was that?
Can I respond to Butterfingers in that action?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
We must save Ronan.
I have a plan. You go.
That's better. You can't do that.
Only I can talk. Okay, lovely. Niels is gonna dash back. As he gets to probably beside Goldream, he'll kind of like just look across to you with a sincere, sad sort look, seeing like Ronan who's dashed across with his torch, and just in the brief like words that he can't get out, and just says, "We need to leave," in like a sad tone as his eyes flick towards Ronan, and he runs into the tunnel. Kneels.
Disappearing into this tunnel. One more. Maybe safe? So far, only one death. Not too bad. Kayrik, Ansar, what does he want to do? He's standing side by side with his kinsmate.
Can I get another save from Kayrik, please?
Alrighty then. Fine. It's a wisdom saving throw, I believe. So...
He looks up and sees the main silhouetted from the torch attacking Ronan, and even though they can't really see that he's blocking them off, it looks like a massacre from his perspective.
That is a 9, which means he fails, and he has to roll a d6. Man, I love rolling dice. Roll that dice.
What's happening to Kirik?
2. So with a 2, our good friend Kirik Antisar, target takes their turn, but moves away from the source. So he's
That makes sense.
Yep.
He starts sprinting through into the cave.
With a look of deep regret in his eyes, he abandons you, Thistle. He left us. He left us. As he runs into the cave. Sorry, that's another Jurassic Park quote for you guys. I can keep these coming all night. It is the dead main's turn. What does he want to do on his turn? Stay dead, or maybe he wants to release some gas?
Roll a death save.
Maybe this main wants to use his inspiration to get back with 1 hit point.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Oh, God. Alright, Thistle, you're up. I know it's been a long time since we've heard from you, but...
I'm excited. I'm keen. So, Thistle looks at the cave and looks at Ronan and looks at the cave and looks at Ronan, and her whole family was pretty much murdered. She has nothing to live for, so she casts enhanced ability on herself, and she does Bear's Endurance. So it basically gives me 2d6 temporary hit die. So that will last until the spell ends. So I get an extra 7 hit points, and then I wild shape into a daft horse, and I just gun it for Ronan. And I guess the plan would be to come around the side where he isn't being flanked, pick him up, put him on my back, and run like hell.
Alright. That's the plan. I like the plan. Alright, so I'm going to start doing... I'm going to do some DM magic here. I'm going to move things along a little bit. I like the plan. So let's keep that in mind. That's what you want to do. Count Goldream. You see Thistle start to change shape into a horse. What is going through Count Goldream's mind?
He's a cleric though. He's seen some shit. So.
Yep. What would he do in this situation? What is he thinking? What,
no, not your reaction to the horse. What do you want to do in reaction to help?
What do you want to do?
Oh, as in this is my move.
As in,
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little bit of DM magic here. We're gonna wave things along a little bit. I just want to get an idea.
Into cinematic mode.
Cinematic mode. That's a good way of describing it. Yeah, we're going into cinematic mode. I'm just getting people's intention. So we have Thistle intends to shape change into a horse, run over to Ronan, pick him up, and then run back. Now, you know that there's going to be some checks involved in that. Right?
And what could you do as a cleric? So maybe...
Guidance.
Is there something that you want to do? Is there something creative? You tell me. What do you want to do?
Yeah, well, if I'm allowed to. I was going to go there. Personally, I was going to do Blade Wall, so I wouldn't get slashed. But no, I'll guide her and go, ride like the wind. Get Ronan.
Alright. Goldream, as you are changing shape, your bones are popping and clicking, and your flesh is reforming into an entirely new shape. Count Goldream, steps up next to you.
I touch what I think is her head, and then...
slaps you on your horse butt. And it's like... away, Mr. Ed. No, so he casts guidance on you. Now let's talk about what's going to happen. So we've got 3 mains.
I want to use my bonus action to attack something again.
Yeah. Okay. Use your bonus action. Just your thing flies over, makes an attack. Make an attack for me. If you can knock one of these things out of the way, you might make it a little easier.
Ooh, 20 to hit, not natural.
That's a hit.
And 7 for that one. So
7?
Kill anyone,
All right, it's not going to die, but I'm going to say it's staggered. So you've done something there, because that's a good deal of damage. All right, so let's roll a couple of hits. Let's so as a horse, you're going to have to move past. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mains. I'm gonna roll 5 attacks.
Okay.
Yeah? Does that sound fair?
Yeah. That sounds very fair.
Alright, so to start off with. Okay, we got... let me see what their bonus to hit is.
They only have a +2.
+2, so that's going to be a 10. What's your AC as a horse?
10.
So that's going to be 1 hit.
Okay.
Now, let me look what kind of damage they do. Oh, things are starting to fall apart.
2d4.
2d4, alright. Ugh. Things are starting to slow down now. So 2d4 points of damage. I think I'm going to have to start rolling physical dice. Alright, so 4 points of damage. You still going?
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to roll another attack. A 14.
That hits. Oh, wait, no, wait, hang on.
No?
Yes, that hits.
That hits?
That hits.
That's
Yeah, that does hit.
It's another 4 points of damage because I just rolled the exact same thing.
Awesome. Okay.
Alright, let's go roll another attack. I'm so sorry, but that's a 13.
Okay.
5 points of damage.
Oh, we're getting sad here.
So that's... How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4? We've done 4 now?
Mm.
One more. That's a miss with a natural 1.
Yes.
Come on, hits.
Oh no,
I
that's
made
3,
it
sorry.
there with 5 hit points.
Okay, now, I'm going to need an acrobatics check
Okay.
from Ronan.
You got this, my dude. Can I give him my dice?
This is the one.
Honestly,
This is the one thing you've been asking for all night.
There's no doubt you roll.
yeah.
I am
and now
happy. I'm happy to have you roll physical dice. If you want to roll physical dice.
The die.
No, I'm just saying, now that he's got the chance to actually roll an acrobatics check, I don't think I want to go.
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing was to get them to go, and if they're trying to get through it, it's just putting people in danger, so I...
I have 5 hit points left.
She's already in danger, but
Yeah, she's already
I'm
there,
sorry,
but
you.
so if I jump on her
Only
back,
thing movement.
so if I jump on her back and then go back, you're gonna get hit again, so you tell me it's gonna be us rolling into the water.
No, there's that's going to be it for the attacks. I am going to get her to make an athletics check on the next. If you, whether or not you mount, to simulate her being able to get back before these things catch up.
Yeah, I'll jump on.
It's up to you. You play your character as your character would do. If he wants to heroically sacrifice himself, he can.
you do have 2 playing characters who are now like dedicated to trying to get you across the
Yeah. He wouldn't go. He wouldn't jump on. He just, if he sees the horse coming, he just scream run and then just stay there. He's not going. That was the play.
Begin
was the
to
play.
approach Ronin. These things are slashing at your legs as you're galloping towards him. You take some damage. You almost get there. He sees you coming. He yells out to you. Run! What do you do?
I mean, can I cast, like, I wouldn't be able to, like, send my bear spirit out there to bite him and get him to run, would I?
You can't cast anything as a horse, unfortunately.
As I
Main
scream
two
run
options
as
at the
well,
moment.
I'm going to point with my sword towards like the flashing lights and just keep yelling run as I like point with my sword towards the flashing lights.
I think your main two options is if you either just want to actually run or if you want to try to contest him. It's like when an a player tries to rob an NPC and another player stops them. He may be wanting to sacrifice himself, which is fine roleplay wise, but you could, being a close friend, seeing his honor, you could still want to save him and try to still run up to him and like smash him onto your back.
I mean,
him, so-
my athletics is a flat nothing, but I do have advantage.
But what about as a horse?
And being oh yeah, that's a good point. Well, athletics is strength, so I get a +4, and I have advantage.
So despite the fact that's his choice, which is amazing narrative-wise and sounds really cool, it reminds me of the latest Predators movie with the one that kind of sits there in the samurai. But apart from that, though, it's still up to your narrative if you want to go and save him.
All right, you can give it a go, but it'll be contested.
Isn't that
No.
the second to latest Predator movie?
That is the second
I think
one,
that-
because there was a newer one which was garbage. I
With
heard.
the autistic kid who clearly wasn't autistic.
Alright, so we have a choice to make, guys. We have a choice from Thistle, if she still wants to try and force Ronan onto her back, and we have a choice from Ronan whether or not he wants to go. I think we've heard from Ronan. I think we know what he wants to do. It's coming down to Thistle.
I mean, I think if that's what he wants, then, and she can sort of see him, I think she's gone. Like, she tried. She tried. So, I mean, I'm going back.
You get
If he
close.
wants-
You don't need to make another athletics check if you're not gonna make it all the way over to him. You start galloping towards him. You see him silhouetted by the light of the torch. He points his sword towards the woods, where you can see now that flashing light coming closer and closer, and there's like a large figure floating about the boughs. He says, "Run!" You stop. Your hooves dig into the mud of the riverbank. "Run!" he says. And maybe there's a little horsey tear rolling down your horsey cheek as you start to back up, and you see more creatures piercing the tree line and just surrounding Ronan. You turn around, you head back towards the cave. Count Goldroom standing there, the dim light cast from his shield reflects from your eyes. As you approach him, you guys can hear the sound of battle, hooting, howling, cackling, and the sounds of an arrow, the string of a bow snapping, the sounds of a sword slicing through air, cutting through flesh, and then you see, just for a second, hovering just above the figure of Ronan, just this huge creature, which is the source of the flashing multicolored lights that you guys saw approaching you. And as that light flashes, it lights up Ronan, and you can see him just completely, desperately, hopelessly surrounded by just a horde of demons. What do you guys do? You're at the mouth of the cave.
Okay, I take Goldream, I buck him on, and we go to the mouth of the cave.
I'm
Alright.
tempted to use a command spell to make him do it, but I know Martin wants to.
At this point, you know there's no saving him. There's no coming back from this.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
That's what you see for just that flash of a second as you guys turn and head into the mouth of the cave. And that's where we're going to call it a night.
No, Ronan? Ronan! Ronan!
we're going
He is.
to pick it up right from there on part 3 of Amongst Shadows and Stone, guys. What an ending!
Oh,
What an ending! What a cliffhanger! What's going to happen for part 3? Are we going to see another character from Toby? God.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I hope so. I certainly hope so. I'm going to turn that.
So we can play as our pajama-wearing Niels. Turn him into a bar.
Oh, don't worry. We'll come up with something awesome. It's going to be. I mean, I've got to do that. I've got to do that justice somehow. How do you do that justice?
Actually, speaking on that note, as a fun little Marvel after credit scene, if you're happy, I wanted to explain from his perspective Ronan's last moments.
Please do.
So unfortunately, unlike most stories and movies where if you don't see someone perish, then it never means they're truly gone. We cut back to Ronan, standing in the field, the mains surrounding him, but having stopped attacking now. They're still howling and having that inversed scream. You see piercing through the forest and now a bit faster and on kind of, I would say, kind of gorilla-like stance with lower back legs, higher front legs. Are these large green creatures with pink snouts and weird kind of goblinish ears. Each of them are similar size to a dwarf, and all of them reeking of this extreme smell of just... It's a combination of everything. It's the thing itself is called fetid cloud. It obscures your sight. Your eyes start to kind of wince, and you instantly get the poisoned condition as you breathe it in from all of these different things starting to surround you. There's probably a good 20 to 30 of them encircling you on that small grassy patch outside of the forest, and then. What the rest of the party didn't notice was that large creature above you teleported into that space, instantly appearing about 10 feet above you, floating in the sky. You see this large ogring figure, huge arms and legs reaching down, all covered with fur. Large fat sumo stomach in the center, bare-skinned with no fur. On its back, two little small feathered wings, really looking like they're unable to support the weight of this gigantic body holding it above, and then a large boar face with tusks grotesquely and demonically coming out of areas and skin that they're not meant to actually come out of for a boar. Rather than the tusks from the mouth, you see some poking through the bottom of its jaw, some poking through lips. And this thing does like a horrible screech, and then you hear that same phrase again in your head in Abyssal, as the flash of rainbow light smears across your face. And can I get we'll do one last roll for the night. Can we get a wisdom saving throw from Ronan as you have the flash of rainbow light directly in your face?
It's 18.
18, lovely. You stand fast, holding away from the terror and fear that this horror nimbus is causing you, and that with a large thud, this creature slams into the ground, a small dust cloud appearing at its feet where it lands. And you just, the last swords, you raising your sword as it raises its large mitten of a hand, flashing towards each other.
I'm gonna, as soon as it lands, I'm gonna like look at my sword and then flip it so the blade's facing down and just javelin at it, and then whether it hits or not, then I'm just put my hands up and be like, I can do this all day.
Lovely.
Aww.
And that's the ending and the description of the creature that you guys all sawing, just so no one's got any awkward unleft thoughts. Yeah. Goodbye, Ronan.
Fantastic.
Oh.
What an ending.
Oh, Ronan.
Ronan!
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That is the end of part 2 of Crit and Misses Amongst Shadows and Stone. Before we finish up tonight, I do want to have a quick chat about some of the awesome people who support the channel and some of the people who just help out. So obviously, first of all, I need to thank my partner for letting me spend all of my free time putting together this stream and just doing all this ridiculous stuff that she has no idea really what I'm doing. I try to explain it to her, but you know she doesn't understand. But she knows that it means a lot to me, and she looks after the kids while I'm doing the streams and while I'm prepping and doing all this kind of stuff. So I want to say thank you to her and to the kids as well, because they also know that I'm putting this stuff together, and you know they're really well behaved. I also want to say obviously huge thank you to Christian, our co-DM from Hermes D&D Services down in Brisbane. You're going to be at what was it again? The tabletop convention in Gold Coast?
Yeah, Tabletop Con this weekend, BrizCon coming up soon, and while we're down here, there's been some night markets, so we've been buying some things for some more of our one-shots. So we're currently designing the Mad Siren, and we've bought some things, some shark teeth and decorations for decor around the area.
Sweet.
So we're going to be designing that for people to book in and buy and hire us. So check us out, give us a like as well.
So yeah, same thing, guys. Check out their Facebook page, give them a follow and all that kind of stuff. Keep up to them, and if you're in the Brisbane area, get in touch. They take bookings for customized Dungeons and Dragons adventures for parties and events and that kind of stuff. I know that if I was down in Brisbane, I would definitely be making a booking. Second, I want to also thank all of the guys from the Dungeon Ruse for supporting me, and especially to George, who is one of the cast members of the Dungeon Ruse. You might know him as Grex's Stargazer, if you're keeping up with their Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign. So thank you, George.
Thank you.
You're doing something as well. You're raising money for, what was it?
So I'm raising money for March On, which is a March.
Nope, cutting in and out there, man.
Oh,
Try again.
better, worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for the support from the Crit Miss. But the 96k March is basically 96. We've got a pretty simple. Yeah. How great is that? And plus, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Instead of doing a normal walk, I'm actually gonna do pack marching and body armor. I did Mount Stewart the other day with 25 kilos, and it sucked. It sucked.
Yeah, I don't want to do Mount Stewart if someone's pushing me uphill, let alone with 25 kilos worth of gear. So all of that information, I will be sharing it on my Facebook page on Crit and Miss, but it's also, you can find that on the Dungeon Ruse Facebook page. So check that one out. I should be sharing links while I'm at it. I've got those links here, I believe.
Awesome.
Oh, do I? Hermes. Oh, so I got. That's the one for Hermes, guys. I might need you to post the link for the Dungeon Ruse.
That's okay. If you just go on the Crit Miss page, I'm sure it will be there.
Yeah, I'm always sharing that, and I'll probably give it another share.
Yeah.
Because it's an awesome cause and it needs more people. Of course, I'm currently running a campaign, Baldur's Gate Descent to Avernus, another 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign, which Hadrian is a part of, as the Aarakocra Bard Horion. So I'm going to send you guys a link for Othic Gaming's Twitch channel, which is where I run that. We're going to be doing the next episode of that next week on Friday, so join us for that. That's a lot of fun. Of course, I want to say thank you to Toby and Grace. You've been, awesome sports, as I almost killed your character, Grace, and I definitely killed your character, Toby.
We don't know. Fade to black. We don't know.
It takes a real, a lot of integrity as a player to just be cool with the DM doing that kind of stuff. So thank you guys, you're awesome players. And I also want to give it a little bit of announcement. We have, I've already announced this, we have the Crit and Miss Out of the Abyss campaign, which is going to be starting, I believe, on the 18th of March, I think. So that's an announcement. That's when we're starting. That's when episode 1 is going to be dropping. But we will be doing a session 0. What did we say? Was that on the 4th?
4th, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So on the 4th of March, we're going to be getting the whole cast together. Grace is going to be part of that. Toby's going to be part of that. Hadrian is going to be joining us as the co-DM, so he's going to be filling Christian's shoes there. And we're going to be doing a session 0, character creation, and we're going to be rolling stats live on air. So it's going to be awesome. I've been spending so much time trying to prep that campaign. It is extremely difficult, but it is an awesome campaign. So keep an eye open for that one.
Very exciting.
And just before we finish up, guys, before we end the stream, I just want to take a moment just to say quick words. Normally, I don't mix my hobbies with politics or anything like that, but I just want to say real quick, there's a lot of people that are having a hard time at the moment, and there's a lot of people who are disagreeing on a lot of stuff. I won't go into details, but just remember, no matter who you are or where you're from, we're all in this together. Just like the group of heroes tonight, who band together to take down the big bad evil guys. The only way to get through the hard times is by supporting each other. So no matter what your opinions, just remember, just be excellent to each other, help each other out whenever you can. That is what Crit and Miss is all about, just building a community of people who help each other out. And on that note, I think we've got to say good night. Thank you for everyone who joined us live, and thank you for everyone watching this on Spotify or YouTube. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good, beautiful time.